conquer the night. If I can make it, if I try to draw the red light, I could run through the fire, I could conquer the night. If I can make it, if I try to draw the red, I could, I could, I could, I could,
I could run through the fire.
conquer the night. If I can make it, if I try to draw the red light, I could run through the fire, I could conquer the night. If I can make it, if I try to draw the red, I could, I could, I could, I could, I
could run through the fire.
Keep thinking that I could have done something, but now I'm left with an empty heart. No making amends, no waking up beside you and holding you till we forget it all. How could I know there was no second chances? Like dominoes, my life got really scattered. You couldn't keep the door shut, and now the frostbite's creeping in. 'Cause I've been stone cold since you left me here, so come home. Why won't you reappear? Things that I said came out totally wrong. Can't speak of the truth when it's tainted. I fell into a big black hole. It got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. Got me stone cold. No Wizard of Oz can undo what I've done. Completely out of luck this time. I'm stuck in reverse. I gotta get away now, but I can't seem to take the lead. Oh baby, how could second chances, like dominoes. My life got really scattered. Still, I find myself hoping that you'll find your way back to me. 'Cause I've been stone cold since you left me here. So come home, why won't you reappear? Things that I said came out totally wrong. Can't speak of the truth when it's tainted. I fell into a big black hole. It got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. It got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. Got me stone cold.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Badass University All-Stars for this, our final Playday of the regular season. Our top 4 teams are locked in, seeding is still to play for, and upset results are on the card for the teams who just didn't make the cut. Of course, I'm Whippet, and joining me on the other side of the virtual caster desk is the one, the only McCready.
Yes, and thank you for introducing me in a wonderful way, as the Sigma male Whippet tends to do. Now, pain behind his eyes, but, well, that's what a lot of these teams are looking to give right now, because today, it's all about seeding. That's simply it. Let's get to the schedule. Let's see exactly what this is all about, because, well, our first game, I think that's the one I'm most excited for. Randy Ravens, they're going to be heading up against Team Triton. This is a match that I'm really excited for. Team Triton, they've been really strong. Right now, they're looking to lock themselves in for that second place. Essentially, today is second and third. That's what's going to be decided. Randy Ravens, though, Whippet, I'll give you a little bit of a peek at that strat book, maybe leaking a script, but well, we've already done it yesterday, so let's do it again today. Randy Ravens have told me, when I played unranked with them, they're not worried. They're going to play Monkey. And, I mean, Randy Ravens, we've seen them try, we've seen them not try, and I'm scared about when they do actually go for Monkey.
Yeah, it's going to be certainly interesting. You know, that aggressive monkey style of play can be very difficult to contain if you're not expecting it. And Team Triton do have some pretty important seeding to fight for. If they can lock themselves in a second place, they'll be very happy with that one. And that will be, of course, depending on the results of Imperium of Mandem nonetheless. But Team Triton, there's an upset on the card if Randy Ravens can, well, go back to Monkey and find a way to beat them out.
Yeah, Team Triton, though, they're a very strong team. They're a roster that really just have gone from strength to strength after a bit of a shaky start. They've really picked up, they've worked together, they've coordinated a lot better when it comes to their games. It's a lot less based on individual moments. It's very much a team effort in each game we've seen so far. I feel like Coastline, that was one of the big ones. That was a big example of it. Their droning was tight. Their entry fraggers acted upon the information fast, and they decided what they needed to do, got a position very quickly. I feel like if they can keep that going, they're going to win this game. The question is, how hard can the Ravens make it?
Well, that's the biggest question we have to wait for. Again, when you look at everything coming into this matchup, Ravens don't have a lot to play for other than the joy of an upset result and perhaps, really being a nuisance to that seeding opportunity that Team Triton have. So, they're playing without risk. They're playing kind of without that looming over their back. So they're going to be very loose and difficult to contain. And I think they're going to be a problem to manage in the early stages of this matchup. And Team Triton, while it's not a significant amount of pressure, there is still that seeding opportunity. And you want to give yourself every single advantage moving into our playoffs. And that's a massive factor coming into this one because you want the lowest seed possible available to play against in the very first matchup. And, well, if they can get a victory here, at least depending on the results of Imperium of Mandem's match later today, they can put themselves in a good position for that second seed.
Yeah, if they were able to win a victory here, then simply put, that says, well, life just got made a lot easier going into that actual playoffs. But, well, there's nothing really set in stone. That's the big thing. The only thing that's set is that they're going into the playoffs. Let's take a look at the rosters, though, and remind you of these teams. Now, Randy Ravens, I've talked a little bit about them. I want to start with Triton, because it's a team that have had a lot of potential, and it's started to get realized, just as the same as Ravens. You're looking at Replay, Octagon, Sardine, Matems, and Megere. A really strong effort from this team to just come together and really start stepping up. Replay actually subbing in for our Chalet game yesterday.
Well, we saw lots of Chalet yesterday. I wonder if that will be on the cards today. But Replay had a wonderful performance on that matchup yesterday, and can they bring that same kind of momentum, that ferocity into their matchup today, especially considering that, Team Tritons are standing in the seedings. Does matter a significant amount. Of course, a very strong set of rosters. Ranley Ravens, I think it almost sounds like repeating myself a lot. They're a team that were in the middle of the pack for a while, but they almost had that momentum to make their surge up to the top four. They were so close. They shown that spark. They just couldn't consistently bring that to the forefront. It's interesting how this will work. But we know the players, we know the teams, what we're going to be seeing. Now, what maps, or what map shall we be going to for this, our matchup? The last appearance of the regular season for Randy Ravens, and instantly, Chalet, we're not going to be seeing that as it's auto-banned out, because Triton were on there last week, and Oregon as well from the Randy Ravens. Cafe Coast are next to follow in Sioux, and Coastline's always occupied this list of first bans. It's a very regular sight to see as these two roll through your screen. Cafe, of course, not going to be in play either. Randy Ravens opting to not bring that one out here against Team Triton.
Yeah, the Coastline ban makes a lot of sense. Randy Ravens, they played the Princesses on there, and they had a really strong performance. Whereas the Ravens, well, last time we saw them on Cath a couple of weeks ago, it just didn't go well. Sniper Monkeys, they had Max D subbing in, and then that was a little bit of pep in their step that they needed to really put Ravens on the back foot. They're not going to want to repeat that, so the ban makes sense. Villa Clubhouse will be taken off, and Triton, being given the choice between Clubhouse and Consulate, well, they're going to go for Consulate. Like I said, they've been strong. They know how to play this site, and they played it throughout the season so far. And we're shortly about to get into this game with it. So, Consulate, let's get a quick little rundown on it.
Well, it's a map that, it's one of the oldest standing maps inside of competitive Siege. It's not really had any significant changes to layout. The only thing we ever saw at it was that split bomb site, and that bomb site was somewhat ignored for the longest time, but now has risen into relevancy. Lots of play happens there, and I wonder will we be going there in this matchup if they jump straight into action. Our ban phase to go. Who's going to be first to go? Is it going to be Thatcher? I wonder.
A bit.
Yes.
A little factoid for you. I know you hate them, but Consulate's actually the oldest map in this map pool that's been untouched since release.
Ooh.
A few little changes, but ultimately it tracks. You've got Clubhouse, that's been taken away, and that's been reworked, and that added construction, that made that cache area just so much more comfortable to be in as a site, let's be honest. But Thatcher is going to be that first ban. Consulate, the longest standing untouched map in the competitive map pool.
Certainly interesting. We just kind of touched on the other older map there, Clubhouse, and the differences now. If you ever look back at old Clubhouse from year one, you can't even believe we used to play on that abomination.
Yeah, and actually, new Clubhouse has been in longer than the old Clubhouse, quite a bit actually. But anyway, Jackal's been taken away, and I think this is a really good ban for Triton. They've realized that on their attack, if they use a Nomad, they can simply say, "This is great. We can just shut off these lines of sight. We don't have to worry about it, but we still do our flank watch." I feel like it favors the Ravens a little bit more, though, with Triton on the attack, because Jackal allows for a lot of the maps to be cleared very easily. One glance, and you say, well, nobody's over towards this doorway, so probably not in this position. Jaeger ban, though. How about that?
An intriguing one to say the very least. It gives more flexibility, at least in terms of grenade operators having more of an impact, less availability to burn or protect key positions like shields, depending on the setup brought out by Ranley Ravens. I'm never against a Jaeger ban, and I think that's a massive, a lot of teams are comfortable with them. It's why you see the operator in such a high pick, right? No matter how many times Ubisoft will touch the gun, he's always going to get played because that utility is so significant, and taking that away from a team is something that they might not be expecting. It could come as a shock to the system and really rework how strategies tend to work around. So, interesting to see how that will play out as iNoob 6 picks away from that Kaid and brings out the Tachanka. No, it decides better of it and goes on to that dock.
Well, that ruined it. I was really looking forward to that, but no, that just wasn't going to happen at all. We can talk about Junker having a really big impact on this site, and, well, we're not going to have the opportunity to. Randy Ravens, they're deciding, okay, well, we're not going to the bottom floor, we're not going to the top floor, we are going to lobby press. We're going to be bringing the Doc, Clash, Cade, basically making life hell for the attackers that might want to get some momentum on the board. You have a Clash to slow them down, while they're trying to deal with Clash, Capcan Traps. That's where they come into play. And then you have your Roamers of Wash Waifu with the Goo Mines. Randy Ravens, they are committing very heavily to a strat that just slows down the attackers, and with the Yokai at the end, this is a nice little cherry on top with it. You think about it, they're slowing down, they're playing on time. That is the point of this strategy. Then they have a Yokai for when that plank goes down.
Yeah, oh, they're acting like a mirror window here, but Octagon gets the opening kill as Maui, the Capcans, very rapidly displaced, and that's going to be a spawn peek from admin window. Oh dear, an early casualty, and well, the strategy revolves around delaying that clock, burning all those available seconds away, but with one less gun to do so, it could be a trickier task. A runout appears to have occurred as Replay's looking to get that information, struggling to squeeze his drone beneath the office debris. Does so effectively, but hasn't quite spotted out the Legion as of yet. I imagine that information will come eventually, as that's going to be Washed Waifu trying to battle away, sending some shots down range and only millimeters away from finding the head, and well, chooses the wrong moment to swap to the impact grenade as Octagon a second kill now from the same position as Noob retreats to the basement and reclaims one. Major falls, and that was at a P90. He's wielding those rounds from FN57 that we all know if you play Tarkov can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, well, we're not playing Tarkov, we're playing Siege. Simply put, right now that we're looking at Triton, their lineup isn't going to be impacted too much by this Jaegerman that the Randy Ravens have opted for, and their setup also isn't really impacted. Because Triton, they're going for the roam clear. They're trying to find these kills. They're able to do so, but they're starting to stall out. And with that, Deathly will rotate around if you start to stall out. Now, this is where the big issues. That's where they're going to arise. You're looking at this player moving forward. Deathly's going to take some damage from the frag grenade. That might be what you need to get the kill, but nobody's there to act upon it. Inub is waiting in the wings. This can cause some big issues. If he isn't known, he is though. The yellow ping is there, and Replay is looking to find this kill. Deathly will get taken down. Inub won't be able to land the shots. The P90, it's got a ton of rounds, but sometimes they're just difficult. Gokkin able to find the head of Matums. Just retreats down to Tellers. Just plays it safe. Octagon on Spiral. Shuts him down and ends out that round. Triton finding those early picks, definitely a good investment.
Yeah, they press their advantage very early in this round. The spawn peak failure from the Capcan really gave an opening towards that entire admin side of the map. And when engagements begin sliding in the favor of one team, especially when your entire objective is to burn down that time, force them into tricky positions and rely on operators like Clash and the Echo to make a significant late round impact, forcing them into action early can often lead to catastrophe, and well, Team Triton took full advantage of that and claimed the opening round. We go downstairs to the basement now and seeing a Warden being brought out, an interesting operator you don't get a lot of, sights out of, but again, it can work, utility's going to get thrown in, and especially when you think there's no ADSs to protect from flashbangs and smokes going through, etc. Those goggles have somewhat of a value. And of course, well, you didn't have to do Inub dirty with that one, as Replay collects a kill that perhaps they shouldn't have got. And unfortunately, that was the, kind of collapse down towards that V's office. As we go out to our round, Maui perhaps baiting his spawn peak there. Interesting to see if perhaps they'll go through, or if it's just playing around with that psychological warfare is definitely on the Kavira. Now, this map in Kavira sparks memories in my mind.
Okay, yeah, and I'm going to give context about that now, because the league owner Peak, well, he's got a bit of a reputation in the staff tens, face it, Tub, because he runs that cav. He runs it on console, and he runs it with absolute lethality. Deathly will be droned out. They know there's a cav on the board. They know where he was, but he finds that drone. He backs away. He just plays it safe. Mally, however, is doing the opposite. He's connected, trying to find a kill. I understand what you're trying, but Mally, you're the first pick as well. I think maybe just playing it a bit safe. You gave that early momentum to Team Triton. Don't let them get it again. The water pick I really like. I think that's a good addition to this lineup, and yes, Science, I will talk about it. The lack of the rotate makes life that much harder when you think about maybe a calf push is going to be on the cards. Definitely gonna try and make sure that doesn't happen. isn't going to get a chance. Mateums, he has a diffuser, he's the heart breach, but he simply doesn't care. Finding that kill, opening Visa, and a possibility of an archive rush. Sardine finds a kill onto Mally, and well, the Triton attack, they're looking strong.
Looking exceedingly strong in that initial entryway, finding two, gaining map control and forcing the defense to cower back towards the objective itself. But I knew upstairs with that Ella. And well, we also see Watch Waifu getting aggressive as well, not really dedicating to holding the objective at all, and Sardine falls to the Scorpion Evo. The headshot finds its mark, and that's Ella perhaps finding some success delaying the clock. Position now known, uncompromising, lots of pressure mounting on the Polish operator. Has to swing by vendings. The damage is received. Cautious of retreating back to the objective, but does so with success. One more tray or one more kill, and we see everything going back to a level playing field. Surrounded Ravens not out of the fight yet, but Washed Waifu might be cornered now deep inside the bathroom, but no way out. Sends some shots down range and gets some damage done to the book by main door. Again, has that potential to rotate away, but the rotation's read perfectly by replay, and the advantage Triton holding this round continues to grow. A 4 versus 2 with a minute 15 left to work with.
Yes, right now, Inoob holding a very aggressive position, realizing that this buck on the board means, well, you're gonna start feeling some problems down on that bottom floor. Warden Gokin is gonna try and contest these angles. Isn't really gonna have that much of an impact at the moment. The vertical play is still going. Inoob doesn't want to get aggressive, and there's a very clear reason. If you die, like you just do, now we're looking at Gokin in a 1 versus 4. He's got 1 kill, he's able to find Mateums. But he still needs to find 3 more. He's got to put himself onto 5 kills with 40 seconds left. Triton, well, they play together. They play for refrags. He's going to run out of ammo eventually before you run out of bodies, most importantly. The push, well, that's going to come through the diffuser. Look at that picked up. Gokin is looking towards it. Realizes something might be up in replay. He's going to be right there finding that kill. Triton getting a second round very comfortably, I think is the way I'm going to describe it. Randy Ravens, they're... I know they said that they want to do a couple more... They want to do a couple more monkey plays, a little bit more aggressive, but it's just not working against this team.
Yeah, it's somewhat fallen flat, the attempted early aggression in this matchup from them. And, well, yes, they tried for a spawn peek. Yeah, they, tried some interesting things, but I wouldn't say it's the right method to do so. Fight them on the initial entryways, perhaps, and not give away spawn peaks or mispositioning, and have your sight set up effectively as well, and not kind of try everything and throw everything under that guise of let's be aggressive and fight them. Because Team Triton, there's a reason they're in the top 4. They've been very proficient throughout this entire season, and while on the gunplay, they're certainly proving to be effective. And really, Octagon and Replay, keep an eye on them, because this continues. They're leading the charge in terms of kills, and I have a feeling they're keen to get lots and lots more.
Yeah, I think that's the case. Triton, they realize that, well, this is one of their comfort maps. They've consistently performed really well on here. I think in a drunk stream, Sardine was, discussing his actual team. They've really performed, and the droning, the coordination, it feels good. There is positive energy behind the Triton lineup. Randy Ravens, I think they're just happy to be playing at this point, and, you can't blame them. They can't qualify for playoffs. Might as well have fun with it, and, that makes them the real one with it. Right now, Deathly is going to look at making sure he can be a winner. Yet again, received for the 3rd round in a row a spawn peek attempt. This might be the winning attempt, and no, it's not. Shots are going to land on either side until Octagon's does, finding that kill yet again. Triton picking up the opening frag, 3 rounds in a row with it.
Well, Octagon proving their benefit, finding that opening, as you mentioned, 3 times in a row. But that spawn peek attempt was, well, narrowly missed. Could have been better pulled off if this fell away. They would have wasted time and effort looking towards that window, and you could have kept your life until one held on the Visa that little bit longer. Sardine now repelled on the windows, facing towards Spiral bottom statue, and can't find an angle just yet. But in a great position to do so if anyone dares to cross in that line of sight. Replay tosses out a drone, tries to gather information, placing as a flank watch now on the aforementioned Spiral. Octagon's trying to pushing on in now, makes that punch hole to try and get a long line of sight. Will be effective if needed. Entryways are there. The fuse's still outside, and this is going to be a decent chunk of map control gathered. Down below we do have Watch Waifu, and the C4 is certainly a potential threat waiting for it. We see the rest of the wets above, but, well, wasted opportunity, wasted timing. Replay plays it down to the devil. He doesn't even know he's there. But Wash Wifer, you've got to act now if you want the C4 to land, and well, yet another missed opportunity. Surely you've got to go for it now. Oh, it's annoying me. You've such a good opportunity. Throw it. Throw your C4. You'll get 3.
Whip it.
Oh.
He doesn't know that Valkyrie ban is coming into play. Now, Octagon's going to get down rush. Wash Waifu might realize there might be somebody above, but he only has the information his team give him. That's why the C4 has no impact. Ainib, though, we will be able to find a second kill for his troubles, and finds a third, actually. Mateums being taken off the board. This is the first round, but Triton, they're not feeling comfortable. They're not in the driver's seat. Mally puts himself in it, though. Finds Sardine. And while Majere, at that point, it was just a formality. Ainub finding 4 kills in a round and just shuts down the Triton attack.
This is much more on the lines of the aggression they should be bringing out. Who expects the smoke to swing aggressively? Who is even prepared for that SMG-11 to take those fights in rapid succession? Instead of going for your spawn peaks and that initial destruction, swing or be swung and try and be aggressive in that method. Look how effective it worked from Randy Ravens. They were able to, get the opening 2 kills thanks to the SMG-11 in the hands of Ainub and collapse completely on that admin pressure. And well, Yana, all alone on that balcony, had no way into that building and was face down via a quad kill from the smoke. So round number 4, downstairs basement we go again, second time of asking, and I wonder this time, will the objective be set up more proficiently? Will we see our rotates in place? Will we see them actually have everything done properly, or will they commit to that kind of scattered or heavy roam presence that we saw when they went here first?
I feel like we got to see a little bit more of the rotations, but the biggest issue wasn't that. It wasn't the sight setup. It was the fact that we're looking at a 2 versus 4 with about a minute left on the clock, and Ainub in a position where while he can do something, he can't really commit to it. This, Randy Ravens, they're going for a much more typical setup. They're just saying, alright, well, we're just chilling, we're just waiting, we're gonna play it normally. We might have a roamer or 2, the Mirror, the Maestro, the Cade, the Wamai, and this Malusi. It just speaks of a default setup, and that makes a lot of sense. Randy Ravens does a taste of victory, 1 round, but you want to get it again. Now, Triton, the team of substitutes that said, screw it, we want to play, they've done quite well for themselves. Octagon constantly getting these opening picks. Sardine's going to be the one to do it, though. Ainub going to be taken off, and you're kind of at the point where Ravens, the spawn peak, it's just not working. Just sack it off. Your top fragger has just been taken away.
Yeah, this is not strategically responsible to be going for spawn peaks round in, round out, because eventually your opposition are going to read into it, and well, those windows, while yes, on a map like Constant are numerous, it's not very hard to read which one's going to get cracked open, and 1 drone or 2 might be enough to completely force that play out of even prevalence. Top floor control now being gained, and we're seeing a lot of it getting taken out. One thing I do want to point out, though, Sardine on the 0 has that secondary hard breach utility, so any hatches that need to be opened up are available as well. And has those Argos cameras. With that laser shot available, means that clearing out the potential utility on that wall, which will be that Kaid Claw, is going to be a little bit easier and perhaps more discreet than if you opened up the entire vertical positions. A nice flank watch camera now placed, and that's going to give no casualties on the attacking side. But any downed attackers an opportunity to read into that. As definitely gets aggressive on the yellow stairs here. Has the LMG primed and ready, looks for a brawl, and Octagon might be first stepping up to the plate to take it. Not aware of the Maestro's positioning at all, or the pressure applied by that yellow doorway forces the Maestro back into the objective, and well, Octagon doesn't know the imminent threat and danger there was, but lucky to survive.
Yes, now, the soft breach that's going to come through. This is something we saw happen before. Ooh. Wash Waifu will find a C4 kill this time, fighting replay takes with the Ash, takes away that operator that, well, for the side of Randy Ravens, constantly right behind them, constantly a pain in the backside, just getting in the worst positions possible for a defender to be in to hold a crossfire. Now, Sardine is going to be able to open this hatch, constantly giving that information as well. Triton, they've lost a player, but they don't feel uncomfortable. They're feeling like they're invincible, really. They have the top floor, the breach just got opened up, they're getting both sides. There's a Meister camera to deal with. This is going to chip away at it, though. Zophia's been taken away. Sardine's going to fall as well to that Alder. And 4 versus 2, 37 seconds left, and suddenly, well, their fortunes have changed. You're looking at Deathly and Wash Waifu taking some damage. Matem's able to find a kill, 30 seconds left. Triton, they're going to have to ramp it up. they're gonna have to go for a push. They don't really have a choice of vertical play. It's going right into what the Randy Ravens have prepared for them. Watch Waifu holding behind this white van, has that C4, doesn't have a C4 in pocket, but Gokyin does! And Gokyin has the Vector, able to find one kill. Majere has a refrag onto the cave, but is it enough? The clock is hitting red, mission critical, as some casters would say, whip it, and Majere just has to push through. Yellow Pink does come through the pistol, but it's a gun 4, and it isn't where Melly's sitting. Randy Ravens are able to equal things out and tie it all up.
Oh, they're gone 6. Strikes yet again, not being prepared for that, but also the time draining away. And yes, it very much was mission critical to make that execution stick and land, and they weren't able to do so. So Randy Ravens now tie us up 2 rounds apiece, which is a very interesting dynamic, all things considering the early dominance the team Triton possessed, and the fact that the Ravens have still stuck to their guns with the aggressive spawn peeking style of play. Seeing this Rook getting brought out by Washed Waifu is an interesting pick. It has that 2x optic, and I wonder if that's going to be your next to the plate, the next person promoted to spawn peek.
Right, as his friend, I think I really need to discuss this one. So, in the past year, Washed Waifu, Dave, he's gone through a bit of an emotional journey. He's learned new operators, he's learned how to play things, but at his core, when I was playing him in Uni League, he was a Sledge Rook main. And actually, I have seen the case of if you ban out Sledge and Rook against him, it used to work. He would carry them frag-wise, and they wouldn't have a leg to stand on if it was actual Uni team. He has grown and developed and can play other operators, but if you see him on the Sledge or the Rook, suddenly with it, it puts my heart in my mouth. Honestly, I'm looking at this, I'm saying, he's picking this up. His own ethos on this map, which he has used against me, is you have to run out. You have to spawn peek. You don't play it normally. It's consulate. And he knows how to play it like this. He has practiced it and rehearsed it, and most importantly, has clips of me.
Isn't the most important thing getting clips of you?
Only one.
Only one?
When he ran out balcony and killed me. We both dropped like 19, 20 kills in that game. So, you know. Swings and roundabouts.
Creedy kind of cracked. Okay, I see. I can vibe with that.
Was.
Oh, yeah, okay. That does make sense why you're on this side of the broadcast now.
Yeah. Now, Triton, back on the actual game side of the broadcast, they're going to be moving into admin. They're going to be avoiding the big issues of this setup, which Randy Ravens still want Triton to walk into. That's that main lobby. That's that slowing down. They're just saying, no, we're going to go in admin. We're going to get control of Visa, get the flying cams, get the information, move towards long desk, find a kill onto Dave or Wash Waifu, who's covering that long angle with Deathly. And in doing so, just make life hard for the Ravens. If you could take control of that long, you could flush out Ainu. Then you start walking down the vertical play. It just stacks for you. Triton, though, they've got to deal with Ainu.
That grenade toss in might be there to clear away that shield. Replay takes a lot of damage and pressure mounting on the smoke inside of Bosco. He has to be careful here. The angle's wide open and engagement could be deadly as Replay finds the opening, and that's going to be waving goodbye to Wash Waifu on that Rook as Replay creeps and crawls their way up by long desk as Deathly fires back with the DMR and gets everything back to a level playing field. Saria Gate's being burnt, but no one expects to put the prone smoke except for Majere. The AK sings, but instantly in retort is Deathly, who finds kill number 3, but shut down by a rapid flurry of trades. Now leaves it at 2 versus 1 in favor of Team Triton, but well, Gokyin, that Maestro has one tool that we can all recognize its drum. It's the old 81 rounds of Herp. Can he make it sing? 55 seconds to work with. Can he spot the head by long desk? No! Maychum's quicker on the draw, and Team Triton win round at number 5. And what was a very rapid flurry of kills, and I've honestly massacred the Nomad reading into that prone smoke's position.
I think that was down to droning, that was down to information, but what we saw was definitely just peeking with Ainu. There was a number of double peeks in that actual execute, and the response to the defense. That was good. That was really, really well coordinated, but, well, it just came down to Triton having more players at the end. We saw Deathly being taken away. Wash Waifu gone immediately at the start. You're playing a numbers game that you just can't win. You don't need a calculator to work that out. And, well, Triton, they pick up 3 rounds on the attack. They're looking to make it a 4-2 split on their attack, move on to defense, and just dominate. But Randy Ravens, they've got stuff. They can back it up. They really can step up. For example, Deathly, he's able to find a refrag right here. He turns around the corner, finds another frag, looks for a third, just can't land it. Now, the big thing, I want to see consistency from the Ravens. I want to see them have this refrag potential more often than not. They're heading to the top floor. There isn't really an excuse for this.
Certainly so. I mean, having the ability to trade off your fallen compatriots is something of an art form inside of Siege. You know, if you remember back in the glory days of teams like G2 when they were world beaters, that was one of their defining traits. And every team, just look at SI, every team that had a significant run had that ability to trade off whenever things went wrong or keep the numbers game at least close to even. And it's a tricky thing to do on a map like this because it's very cascading. It's very momentum based. Once admin falls and kills start going in the favor of the attacking side, it can almost seem like insurmountable odds to fight with, and Randy Ravens need to find some way to reply as we went back upstairs again, and Team Triton have shown that if they take an inch, they can get a mile out of it.
An interesting choice here, Whippet. Some might even describe it as a dilly type beat of Gokien, bringing the drum of war. And there's a reason why I call it that. When it shoots, you goddamn know about it. The ACS-12, well, it has that sight potential, but Deathly's already on a Rooney. He's going to be able to shoot a drone and will pull back, but I feel like Randy Ravens, they just want these heavy-hitting weapons. You've got the Orb, you've got the DMR, the ACS-12. They're looking to use these long lines of sight and really punish Team Triton once they do start putting pressure on them. But yet again, Triton, they're kind of reading into it and saying, we don't want to deal with this. This isn't a big issue for us. Let's just play it normally. Let's get the drones, get the information, find the opening kill, and Octagon is going to deliver yet again, constantly at the forefront for Team Triton.
Octagon is just having a wonderful game, finding opening kills left, right, and center, and when you can get that initial start to a matchup, it can be very difficult to lose the momentum on a site like this, on Consulate, because now everything is cascading forward them. The front lines have formed up, the defense have to fall back, they can't control Coffin or Printer anymore, and every single angle becomes an active threat. On side of Yellow now, pressure from that skylight mounts, and once again, a prone smoke of Ainu, perhaps trying to be disruptive, subverting expectations of positioning. A toxic canister tossed down, that's going to choke out and delay this initial push from Replay, who does seem very keen on some aggressive presence, and air jab as well, cancelling that rotation out from construction, as Octagon's coming to the receiving end of a pretty significant portion of damage, as well as Ainu, who retreats far away. All of Projector is now, well, left rather exposed, and without an active C4 down below, there could be an easy chance of planning a wonderful collection of kills there. Major and Sardine finding one apiece. Noob downstairs, shotgun primed and ready. He's got a toxic canister, but only one to work with, and his compatriot of Wash Waifu is going to be not long for this world is lowered into that forever box. And a 1 versus 5 with low HP to work with, and a site left all exposed and vulnerable. Surely this is going to be an easy post-plant situation, but walking over these open breaches is often a gamble. A dance with the devil, but audio isn't going to be enough. You have to get some information, and a wild guess of positioning just aren't enough. And that plant goes down, and a 1 versus 5. This is surely going to be a tricky asking. Doesn't quite see the player rotating out the window, and with so many guns to worry about and such little HP, this round is all but over in favor of Team Triton.
Yeah, pretty much. You're looking at Inoob. He didn't see the planter. He didn't know where it was. Didn't catch him on the exit. You know, low HP. This is a time to try something. I think it's going to be a run-out. No, it's going to be a top floor retake. You're not going to give up just yet, but 2 players on the balcony is going to be a very difficult task. Pushing up with 12 seconds left and an ace in front of you. That's just not going to happen. Matem's jumping in, finding the kill. And Triton, with a flawless round, will secure a 4-2 split. Going on to their defense now is where we can really expect to see them just step up with the roaming. Just get those players like Replay, like Sardine, really become issues for the Randy Ravens. Whereas on the flip side, I want to see coordination. I want to see a little bit of, I don't know, improvisation. When things are going wrong, just kind of work out what you're doing. Because obviously I said refrags, that's a big thing they need to tighten up. But on the attack, you need that, but you need so much more. And one thing I'm kind of questioning whether you need is a Cali, because there is no guarantee there on that bottom floor. As a result, Gokien gonna sticks it, because they look at this and they say, well, okay, that probably is bottom floor garage. We have the Cali just in case. Let's keep it on the board. This Vigil, that's gonna make this room game a lot harder. Octagon, just going to force them to really commit to this roam clear. You have to take the gunfights. You have to make sure every little bit is clear. Because that vigil effect will get you. Sardine also has the Mozzie to add on to this.
So you're not only going to have to worry about that vigil, and also one interesting note is that the disruption they do cause on drones travels through flooring, so it is very difficult to pinpoint that vigil's positioning. And with pests lurking around and, well, nearly catching the drone of Gridlock there, information comes at a massive premium in this round. Really intrigued, though, of where this vigil will go, and does appear up to the very top floor, and yes, it is, as I wonder if that's going to be a sole and solitary roam presence. The setup-wise, being brought from Randy Ravens, that Cali is a massive linchpin of this one. It gives a great potential to open up this wall, and a spawn peek from the Jared, perhaps giving the Ravens a taste of their own medicine. The AUG, primed and ready, pops up like a whack-a-mole, sends some lead down range, but nothing connects, but just living in the fear, perhaps, of Randy Ravens, and placing that thought of potential spawn peaks in their mind. A lot of commitment down towards the main garage breach, and that's not too surprising considering the operators they've brought out. I'm intrigued though where these track stingers will be deployed. I imagine yellow's going to be a massive benefit of that. But as we see, that Kaid Claw is being placed up in towards that small destructible piece of the roof, and meaning it's going to be tricky for that lance to reach, but has done so efficiently. And the thermite charge works magic as the wall's been opened up, the middle panel's been cracked wide open, gives a lot of line of sight, and that 300 Winchester rifle that Cali possesses at long range, the last thing you want to face with. You can trade off some damage if you're 3 armor like Maestro, but nonetheless, a scary prospect nonetheless, and hiding behind the beams and glass of that car can often be tricky to spot out the head of an operator. And well, oh, definitely spots the head of that mirror, an absolutely sublime shot and read, and he honestly earns that GN in chat.
Yes, now that Cali, it is something that you can tag, and you can tag, which Mashare is going to do. But right now, that is an investment for later. Ineem's just going to sprint on him. Will be taken down. Mashare looking to make sure that just can't happen again. You realize, well, you can't allow anything to happen. Wash Wifey is going to be taken off of the yellow stairs. Deathly trying to get some kills. They know there's somebody playing behind the mirror window. Gorkian's just not landing the shots, and neither is Deathly. In doing so, you're letting Mashare just walk up. He is spottable through the drone hole, but they don't know it. He's holding a close angle. This breach is on lock. White stairs. Also, you don't have the players to push in properly. Definitely going to get taken down by Sardine, finding his second kill. Mally sees him. Mally doesn't know that he sees him. That's the biggest issue. Gokin moves in, tries to bait him to move out, and Miguel will finally be taken off the board, but at what cost with it? That's the big question. Octagon still has this vertical play he can cover the breach from. You still have the mirror windows. You still have the Wamai, a C4 on the Mozzie. And speaking of the Mozzie, he's going to find a third kill. Gokian taken off the board, and Mally, well, he's going to fall to replay. Triton, they're very comfortable defense. They lost a couple of players, but as soon as it came to getting a couple of gunfights on the board, fine. Not a problem at all. Reality Ravens, you just can't stall out.
That was a massive commitment towards one solitary entryway, and yes, it can very much work. It does rely on being able to find your openings, and Team Triton, yes, they took the early casualties, but they were very comfortable just sitting back and waiting, and as every bit of pressure that Randy Ravens had relied on going through that breach, they had no vertical control, they were committed to one way into the site. That's never going to work out well. I would have liked to see them perhaps play around and try and get some verticality, get some map control, and use that as leverage to clear power positions. They would have had to deal with that vigil, of course, which could have been a headache in its own right, but perhaps a better strategy brought out than just trying to brute force through a single opening. Lobby getting brought out now, and well, a sight that I always like to watch, and well, look at that shot from Deathly. Oh, you love to see it.
Shout out to Noah for making things look so damn cute. Looking at angles like that, and you can just see the pixels. Beautiful shot coming out from Deathly, obviously. But, round 8, we're pick. Round 8. That's a very dramatic entrance to it, and I think that sums it up quite nicely, actually. Triton, an upstairs hold, which makes a lot of sense. This round, this is the one that they want to win. This puts them onto match point. Randy Ravens, a 4-2 split and a 5-2 split. Very, very different things, obviously, because you can't get a 5-2 split. But on defense, 5-2, that's a much better position than 4-2 on attack. You know, you're looking at this and you're simply saying, well, Randy Ravens, you have got a mountain to climb. 1 round, and Triton will be on match point. Gokyin, we've had a little bit of guessing with the Amaru before, but I think it's quite obvious where he wants to go. He's going to want to go in through this piano window, get control of Major, find that kill early, and they're going to look for a plan. This is very much a shock and awe strategy. Question is, are Triton going to be ready for it? They adapt really well, don't they, Whip It?
They are very good at adapting, and well, it seems like a nervy, you know, almost if you watch Counter-Strike, perhaps the description is a Astralis trying to set up a utility take on maps like Inferno. They're being very patient, waiting for the right moment to strike, and I think the catalyst to this is going to be that Gara hook breaking in the piano, and you're on the side of Team Triton, and you're wondering, this is awfully quiet, too quiet perhaps. 2 minutes remain, and I wonder, are Randy Ravens going to try and wait, play passive until the very last second? Well, that could be the catalyst to spark some action in this round. Matrum's fine, definitely. That's going to be the opening kill. Wash Waifu just walks in, just decides, alright, I'm inside of sight. The Goya hook goes in. Goyakin gets 1, gets 2. The plant's not going to go down. It was denied. A very rapid approach. Now is Maui getting into the action and finding a kill on the Octagon. A wonderful cross. And that's going to be upstairs. Matums, who got the opening, finds kill number 3 of this round and makes it 2 versus 2. Replays relaying lots of information and make it a quad. On for the ace. Now it's all down the Maui in a 1 versus 2. Winnable nonetheless, but information being relayed from that pulse will be critical as they make their way towards the critical areas of this map. I think perhaps opting to push in via admin could be a lucky or could be a good decision to rotate and clear this vertical pressure, but this window breaking and the Sonic Repel is going to be a massive audio cue.
Yeah, Replay and Matums, they know what's going on. They realize that this push is coming through. That Selma charge, it's going to just triple check it, but the big thing you want to talk about is this soft floor and admin. A couple of options here for Mali is sacrifice the drone for that breach, you go over towards long, and you walk towards connector. You don't really have time. Now you're just going to walk over towards Visa, you get called down. He's going to know. Replay has all the information and the camera there. This C4 kill is more likely than not. You can run into the site, or you could try and deal with the problems. Either way, you're really going to struggle to win this out, because you have to deal with the other one. Mali's going to find Matums and make sure that no aces on the cards right now, but time, it might just be too little. Replay still playing down below. Kaz got that C4, and a diffuser in no man's land. You can just walk over to the hatch. You can stop a plank going down. Mali doesn't have too much time to reposition. He's going to have to grab the diffuser. Runs towards piano with an entirely soft floor and begins to plan. Replay is going to get baited a little bit. Realizes that is happening at 000. The C4 comes through and
Safe.
doesn't find the kill. Mali gets away with it. He's going to get outside. Replay. How does that not land the shot? The post plan from Mali. That's going to be key now. He doesn't have the information. You can win it. And he does.
That
What
was
the hell?
the stage, the small little stage by the speakers at the flags. That is C4 proof. The call was made last second to rotate that plant down. Massive credit to that call. Wonderful reading and timing there. Maui against all the odds in that 1 versus 2 comes up big for the Randy Ravens, gets out that clutch victory, and now they can live the fight another day. Round number 9 we play, and well, perhaps Noah was right to zoom in on round number 8, because that was a very dramatic one indeed.
Oh yes, definitely was. The big thing for me though was Mali. Yeah, you had an incredible clutch. You really stepped up. That's one for the highlight reel. But Randy Ravens, there's a couple of issues there. You're looking at the plan right now in this position at 2 versus 3, 2 versus 2 right here. Wash Wifey should have just stayed on the plan. Either way, he died, and with the plan, he had an actual chance of getting it off. And otherwise, which wasn't the case. It was 2 versus 2, and the plant wasn't going down. Randy Ravens and Triton, you were back at the start essentially, but Triton, significant time advantage. That's what they're going to be looking to leverage in this possible penultimate round. But if Randy Ravens, the last round's anything to go by, round 8. Round goddamn 8, Whip It. If that's anything to go by, we might be here a little bit longer. The coordination on that push was really good. Gokyin was able to get in and have a couple of very impactful kills. You kill the connector player, you kill Sardine dropping that CEO hatch. That suddenly just turns quite a few heads of the defenders and lets Wash Waifu get into that plant position. They need to replicate it. They need to catch Triton off guard, and they need to do it 3 more times. Wash Waifu is going to make sure Replay isn't going to cause any issues. That spawn peak not going successful for any defending side at the moment.
Oh, I don't think this was a spawn peek. I think he crossed and got caught by a pre-fire right, perhaps. Huh.
Still, that's just
Unfortunate
something you don't win.
nonetheless.
You can't, yeah, that, I think that was a spawn peek attempt, but, well, it's not really important. What's important is replay is dead, and when you think about the impact, Frags, that replay has been getting, that's a substantial hit.
It really is. Taking away someone who can have a massive amount of an impact on the defensive side early is a great benefit. And getting rid of Malusi does have one added benefit. That C4 is no longer available. So that's one less headache to worry about. Still 2 remaining on the Mature and Sardines. You're not exactly safe from any vertical boom booms if you try and get a plant down instead of CEO. And there is a very dangerous gun in the hands of Octagon. That DMR is a nasty thing to deal with, especially in the long-range lines of sight available on a site such as CEO. Noob, by the bottom of yellow, by the vending machines, has the potential to walk on up, but will be met by pretty stern resistance. Selma charges, cracking open the CEO wall, making it tricky, and well, Amaru in play. A soft hatch inside a CEO office, and a very patient looking around the Ravens once again. I have a feeling we're going to see an entryway in a wonderful fight from Noob, with against all the odds, even had the disadvantage of Matums having the high ground. Doesn't matter, the LD5 sinks and reigns supreme, and now pressure begins to mount. The defenders falling further and further back, and the crossfire from yellow, significant one, but no! Mozzie finds the shots to get it down on Sledge, but not going to be able to finish it off. It doesn't matter! There's Mature on the stairs, a shotgun finding kill number 3, and Octagon swings to that DMR, and Team Triton collapse with lethal proficiency and get themselves on the match point here on Consulate.
Yeah, I feel like Sardine finding the kill on the rappel, that was the real moment there, because there was a player already down on yellow. It was all down to that shotgun coming around, finding another kill, but as soon as the CEO rappel, as soon as Sardine kills that player, that's the push being stunted. That's Randy Raven saying, we've just lost control of Connector, they can push yellow stairs. Suddenly those players, they are bricking it, absolutely. Mally, he's scrambling to get in CEO to get that control and get that line of sight, but you just don't have time. Noob and Deathly both taken off the board, and, well, Triton, very, I think lethal proficiency. That's the way to describe how that round ended, and Triton as a whole. They're going on to match point. You can take a quick look here. Noob spotting the Mozzie, but just not landing that kill. There it is. Macher just walking in. You shut down that part, and it's all down to Mally, who, while he can do it once, lightning doesn't strike twice, unfortunately. He wasn't able to clutch it up. Triton back on the bottom floor. Last time we were here, we saw Randy Ravens really focus on this breach. They don't have that Cali this time. They've got a Twitch, and there's no Mozzie or Mute to counter it. So we're seeing lineups that are different, but they could still focus quite heavily on this breach. They could still try and push through, although the lineup, it says something different.
Yeah, this looks like they're going to be opting for that verticality. Just definitely on the book is instantly ringing that into my mind. And while there is roam presence available on the side of Triton, which is just, again, judging by operator picks, doesn't seem to be a massive priority for them. I can't really see them committing anyone apart from Octagon upstairs away from the objective. And that could be an interesting one to fight those DMRs and those initial close quarter fights that tend to happen around the entry points of this map. The back site does seem to be an area of interest right now from around the Ravens, queuing up outside of Visa, and that could be an interesting engagement. I wonder if they're going to opt to do something somewhat fast, and upstairs is that Kaid inside of office. I am intriguing to see how Kaid is going to do on the roam presence. The AUG, not a bad weapon at all, but Kaid is slow. He is going to be vulnerable of getting caught in a pinch, and, well, no one set up for it. And Octagon, I mentioned that DMR fighting in these close-quarter situations can be somewhat cumbersome, but the drop towards that server hatch is there, and first of all will be Noob, I believe. Tried for something, a rather spicy drop. He cracked open the floor, probably as he stood upon it, and Octagon, lying in wait, collected our opening kill of the round.
Yeah, that's pretty rough at the moment. Gokkin might spot the bullet holes being made, and is able to strike. He's able to find replay and finds that answer the one while he's taken off, but Octagon's there to answer back with a kill onto Deathly. This Archive Visa push is just not happening at all. They've sold out. They're not dropping. They're thinking, what else can we do? because, well, Team Triton, they're very much aware. Majere, he's not caught sleeping. He looks towards Spiral and finds Mali. Now watch Waifu and Gokyan. What are they going to do? The diffuser's down. They are already 2-player deficit. I don't even know how to say it. It's this bad of a situation at the moment. Half the round on the board. And Triton, they've not even been pushed out of piano. That vertical play can still come into play. But you've got to think, Sardine and Majere, as soon as they decide they're going to pounce, that's exactly what will happen. Gokyan and Wash Waifu, no choice but to go down these spiral stairs. But you're encountering a couple more issues. That's the information, that's the down, and that's the kill coming out from Octagon. Finding a third kill, and Triton, well, they're one frag away from closing it all out and locking in that second place spot. Gokyan, he can stop this. He can wait. He can do something to end it all, but he doesn't know where Sardine is. The Alder is pushing up. 81 rounds in pre-fuzz, but it doesn't kill. And Gokyan, he is still in it for 40 more seconds. The rest of Triton, well, they know exactly where he is. He's got to go get that diffuser. Matums isn't going to spot the cross. That might actually give a little glimmer of hope here until Matums realizes and looks around at Octagon on the flank. Triton, it looks like it's game, set, and match here. Walking out Spiral, Octagon will be taken away, but you're constantly just seeing Triton just bunker in every kill. They get a little bit less aggressive, and you've got to make up this lost ground. The crouch walking towards the security area. Well, that's going to be the end of it. Triton, they will beat out the Randy Ravens and thus conclude their Season 2 of the Badass University All-Stars.
Well, they certainly had a good showing here. You know, it was not the easiest route, but a 7-3 victory is a good one for Team Triton. That does push them onto that second place inside of our seeding, so a great result from them. That is still depending, though, on Imperium of Mandem, who happen to be your very next matchup on this stream. If Imperium of Mandem, I believe, get a victory inside of regulation, they will reclaim that second seeding. So that could be a scary prospect for Team Triton, considering they just fought for that one. But a great result from them, and I really have to give massive credit to both Replay and Octagon. But Octagon there, finishing with 11 kills, absolutely stellar performance, and really did make that DMR work on the Rooney.
Yeah, really, really strong, really finding impact kills, and I gotta say, you know, stunting that last round, and immediately Randy Ravens on the back foot. Well, they're just playing catch-up constantly. They're trying to find something, and they're hemorrhaging players, hemorrhaging time, and hemorrhaging utility. That round was never going to go any way other than Triton at that point, unfortunately for them. So they're going to send Randy Ravens packing. Team Triton have that second place spot, but Imperium Mandem, they do have a chance to close it out. They're going to be playing that game, the very last game of League Play, actually, for Bull Season 2, coming up after a very, very short break.
Always think of you when spring comes, like it's something in the air at that time. Don't know why. Always dream of you when spring tell you to say that I'm happy for the two of you. You wanna be friends, but I don't think I can. But I wanna be happy, happy for
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind when we rewind. Feels so nice. We time, you I know how.
Hello. We've had fun. We've had laughs. We've cried. We've had some incredible C4 moments, but, well, the first couple parts of those are behind us. We have the crunch time, essentially. We are determining the second and third place spots for the playoffs. Now, Whippet, the Sigma male himself. This game, Sniper Monkeys and Imperium of Mandem. There's a lot going behind it, isn't it? And a lot more from Imperium of Mandem than the Sniper Monkeys, who sadly didn't qualify.
Yeah, Imperial Man, they have to get a victory in this matchup, and I believe a victory inside of regulation to be able to retake their second seed position, which again, every advantage counts going into your playoffs. And, well, they want to be able to also have the bragging rights, saying we finished second in the regular season, so a lot to play for from them. The Sniper Monkeys, not in your top four, have had a pretty marginal season. They've not been able to put the puzzle pieces together. They haven't had I think, as much of a success story as people were expecting, considering the roster they had together. So I'm intrigued to see how this one's going to go, and I'm never against seeing an underdog story.
Yeah, we've seen Sniper Monkeys. They've got a couple of subs today, but the main roster, we'll bring that up so you guys can see it. Now, last time we saw Sniper Monkeys really have new additions to the roster, well, they've had a very drastic impact. Sniper Monkeys, they were able to beat out Randy Ravens on Kaf Dostoevsky, actually. But looking right now, we're not exactly sure who's subbing in. So, Titchy, Quick Jab, Nom Denom, Sturksy, and the Hyde. That's the core roster Sniper Monkeys. That's what a lot of people really expected to be a strong team. But they haven't really had that. They haven't realized that potential. Imperium and Mandem, however, they definitely have. Scipio, Angelix, Rose, DJ7, and the Dob. Imperium and Mandem, they put themselves at the top very early on and have just been a consistently high-performing team, haven't they?
Yeah, since the very kind of outlook of the season, and them and the Princesses have been battling for that number one spot. And, outside of that, they have to fight now to get the second place back. It's where they've been for a lot of the season. And, on paper, and again, on paper is very different to in the server, they should be victorious in this matchup. And they've been a strong side. They've always been improving, but from the outlook, they have been one of our top sides. While Sniper Monkeys have somewhat struggled to put everything together. They haven't been exactly how we'd expect them to be. And, it's unfortunate to see when you look at the players on this roster. Yes, we have quite a few, some subs in today because some people couldn't make it. But, I was one of the people saying that this could be a strong sign, that they had great potential. And they just haven't quite delivered on that potential in the course of the season.
Well, that's actually my point. Sniper Monkeys, they've really struggled to find that, I'm gonna say, that main kind of driving force behind them. You're looking at the last game we saw for Team Triton. It's been Octagon. It's been Replay. They've been constantly putting themselves at the forefront. Sniper Monkeys, they've struggled to find that. That's the biggest issue I've found. When they have subs in who can perform to that level, that's when they really start to step things up. Now, the map that we're going to be heading to, I'm very interested in this, because with subs, while it might give you what you need, you might not really want to go to anything special. You might want to go to more of these default maps. Now, Coastline in Oregon, already taken off with the auto ban. That's going to mean that the next couple of bans, they're going to be just that little bit more important. Villa Calf will be taken off the board, and Whippet, you do love a good chalet, so we'll see if that is the case. The next couple of maps, well, let's bring them up. We are going to be heading to Whippet.
Oh, Chalet banned out. Now we've got Clubhouse, and well, what a map to end our regular season here at the Badass University All-Stars. It is going to be Clubhouse, one of the parts of that T4 trifecta we talk about so often here, and well, for a final battleground for Imperium of Man then to claim that, or potentially claim their second seeding position, it's a pretty good map, but again, Sniper Monkeys, you got to consider this one factor. This map, per default, well understood by everyone at most levels of Siege, gives them somewhat of an equalizing playing field to be able to get some rounds and potentially put on a pretty good performance.
Sniper Monkeys, I'm going to say here, then their subs really need to step up because, simply put, Imperium Amanda, they're going to be confident, they're going to be good on this map, they are really going to step things up, and they need to be able to perform. Now, the subs that are actually being played, Angelo and Heizo, they're going to be the subs. Now, Heizo returning from Ophis from last season with it, as we do bring it back to us, and Angelo, who you might recognize from yesterday, actually, in one of the teams that was struggling just a little bit, Chimp Hunters, I do believe, but the big thing for me, the huge thing for me is Clubhouse. It's a default map. These subs really have to step up. They have to come into this roster and really start driving the momentum, because if you don't, well, Imperium and Amanda, they're gonna run away from it. Myself and Jerry, we've casted them a couple of times on Clubhouse. I have made many a goddamn Warhammer reference on this map. They know how to play it. The question is, can Smunkies answer?
I mean, that's the big question we can wait on. I mean, judging on performances I've seen from the Sniper Monkeys, I've mostly seen them play on maps like Coastline in the previous matchups, and again, having two substitutes coming in on a map like this that tends to lean a little bit more in favor of strategic and rigid teams. That could be a bit of a disadvantage coming into it, and Imperium Random have always looked strong throughout the entirety of the season, especially on maps like this, and my mind is swinging just to say and go with the favourites from Imperium of Man, them to be able to have a strong and on paper I think this could be a very dominant display from them. I'm very up for being proven wrong by the Sniper Monkeys. In fact, I would much prefer if they proved me wrong and we were able to find some extra sixth gear that they haven't shown all season and get a massive victory here. I would love for that, but it's hard to justify.
Yeah, it really is. You look at their performance throughout the season, it's very difficult. They've really struggled to get momentum going with their core roster, and the subs that have given them that little boost, that little entry that they need, well, they're just not playing again. These are different subs on the board. We are waiting on one last player to join into the lobby, but Whippet, simply put, Smunkies a mountain to climb, and the question is, are they going to do it? But secondly, can they really put in the energy to do it? Because Smunkies, there's nothing to really play for here besides pride. Imperium Amanda, they're playing for the playoff seeding, but Smunkies, what are they in it for?
That's always an interesting question when you come to the end of a season for any league or tournament. It always comes down to teams that have stuff to play for versus teams that already know the season's over for them. And Sniper Monkeys have somewhat known for a little while that top four was just going to be a little bit beyond their grip, and they have put in good performances. They've always made some matches interesting, but now, final Playday of the season, or at least final Playday of the regular season, they don't have playoffs to look forward to. They're not going to hide strats or build upon it. This is the end of the road for them in this season. And, it's very hard to judge right now. I'm almost struggling to pull out the perfect words for it, but hopefully they have the energy to put up one final good showing and end on a high note. And, if they can't get the victory, at least show that they can stand toe-to-toe with one of the best teams that we've seen this season.
Yeah, I mean, I believe a week or two ago, we saw them on Coastline against the Minutemen, and that actually went all the way to overtime before Sniper Monkeys won it out, and it was a horrible game. I think now that it's over, we can simply say it was something. It was really goddamn rough, but Sniper Monkeys, it was a sign of things that can happen. It's a sign that there is potential behind them, but like you said, they've really got to step it up. This is one of the top performing teams. This isn't the Minutemen. This isn't the wooden spoon race anymore. You are trying to show that you can leave this league with a bit of dignity. Now, the bands that are going to start out, Smunkies on the defense, this is a good position to be in. A really good position to get some rounds on the board to start things off. The Ash ban, probably not my first choice, but I'm more than willing to see it.
I mean, it's somewhat kind of in a similar vein to how I mentioned or talked about that Jaeger ban we witnessed on Consulate. It's an operator that for many teams, they have in lineups they don't think will be banned and can force uncomfortable adjustments out. Thatcher's going to be waving goodbye, and again, not much of a surprise at all. On a map, on a map like Clubhouse, getting rid of him is pretty, mandatory or guaranteed for teams, so no shocker there. And our defender to be waving goodbye shall be Jaeger. Okay, Imperium have manned them. I see you, meeting the Sniper Monkeys halfway and taking away another one of the most prevalent operators in that Jaeger could lead to a very interesting dynamic. Our final defender ban will be that Malusi, so no Banshees to Wales, so perhaps we might see a very fast-paced and aggressive playstyle brought out from both of these teams.
Wales? I'm in Wales with it. Hell yeah. This is great, it comes full circle. Anyway, round one, let's get into it. These bans, they're really rough. Yeah, this is me asserting my dominance over Sigma Whale. Anyway, looking at the bans on the board, Thatcher will be taken away, but Maveric's still there. Habana's still there. Cade is still on the board. So this Maverick, this is going to really, really just put a spanner in the works. This Maverick needs to be here for every bottom floor round, and Imperium Mandem, they're not bringing it for any. They have got the hard breach. They have the tools to deal with a CCTV hold and the utility on the wall, but Whippet, there is not a CCTV hold. We are going to the accursed bomb site, if I may even describe it as that.
I think that's a pretty active description of it as we load into the lobby. Barstock! Oh, what a wonderful joy this is. A sight you don't get to see basically ever. And now, will we see anyone get the victory here? It would be monumental for Sniper Monkeys to get a victory on Barstock of all objectives.
Yeah. Barstock is an interesting one. The server seems to be quite laggy, and this might call for a rehearse, I'm not going to lie, because simply put, Whippet, this is something that some players have had as a bug, myself included, where everybody moves in 10 frames a second, as you can see on the screen. Like, the game runs fine. Everyone moves in 10 frames a second, though, and it's really awkward. Like, you see it right now, but it just goes for the whole time. I've played a scrim with it the whole time, and it is absolutely hell. I hope there's a rehost after this round, because it is horrible, simply put. I don't wish this upon my worst enemy. Look at it! Look at it, Whippet! This is what the first round is going to be, and I think it's what you get for picking Barstock.
Yeah, I think this is the Rainbow Six God speaking down and saying, how dare you go to Barstock of all sites. Oh man, this must not be fun for the players either, as I can't imagine those drones are behaving to the natural laws of physics either. Okay, so some shots getting traded off through the wall. The Monty now down inside of Garage. The Shanko of Heizo forced on out. Angelic's trying to creep on forward. The grenade's not going to make that any easier. Perhaps a miscommunication. Creeping his way up. EDSing now. Trying to catch anyone in the crossfire. Angelo takes some early damage, but James finds the opening. And well, as the defense find that opening kill, it can raise their win rate up to 60%. So I wonder, could we be in store for that one as Sturksy fires back and the noob falls? And now in a 5 versus 3, this Barstock hole is looking uncomfortably close to becoming a reality.
Yes, now Rainbow Six Siege PowerPoint really stepping up in this first round. Angelix taking the damage at that halfway mark. And that 2-player deficit. You've only got 2 actual primary weapons on the front. And look at the... Oh my god, look at the Smonkeys. They are on the hunt. They're swinging, they're peeking. They're trying to take Angelix, but he's just going to start shooting back. He realizes where they are. Now, Angelix... He's gonna walk away. The plant's going down already. DJ 7 Rose have snuck their way in, but before Heizo can answer, DJ finds Angelo, but Heizo gets the refrag. We didn't see the kill, of course. The server is dead, but the defuse is coming out. There's nothing Angelix can do. The first round is over, so Circe finds the kill onto the Monty, and hopefully our eyes whip it, they will be saved. So let's bring it back to us real quickly. And let's talk about what happened with that round. Most importantly, the Smonkey mentality.
I mean, how much can we take from this round, in all honesty?
Um, a couple of therapy sessions, I think, after watching that. Everything just kind of mashed up into one ball of unpleasantness. You know, server bugs, bar stock.
Yeah, it's an
Need I say more?
unorthodox experience. Seeing 3 people sprinting out of that garage door as well after a Monty is a rare sight, and the plant going down in incognito mode. It's an unusual one to say the least, but well, a defensive victory on bar stock is something for the record books, and I wonder if this is the first victory on bar stock that we've had in this entire season. I'd imagine it's probably the first time we've seen it played this season as well, but again, anytime I even try and mention a stat, I'm somewhat proven wrong, so I wouldn't trust that one.
I mean, there's a possibility Minutemen do quite like their unorthodox strategies. Definitely, I think that's the way we're going to describe it. But I think you're right. I think that's definitely the first time we've seen bar stock being won. I think it just comes down to the defenders being able to just pick them apart. I mean, when the server's playing like that, they're running with a Monty. It's a bar stock defense. They might not have a game plan in mind that's been rehearsed, been practiced throughout a whole league of play. Well, then suddenly you think, okay, well, the defenders, they do have a shot. But, Whippet, that shot only comes around once every 3 rounds. So, what's your move from here? You going to gym bedroom? Are you going back to that CCTV? Do you go to the bottom floor? You've brought something out to catch them off guard, but now that's just not going to work again.
Yeah, lightning doesn't strike twice, and especially in a game like Siege, it can be difficult to catch your opposition off guard more than once in an entire matchup. And I think at this point, you got your victory on bar stock, you got your shotgun strategy out of the way. Perhaps it's time to go to a default rotation. So I'd imagine CC or basement are likely to be our next sites of choice, but again, you can never even count gym bedroom out, because inside of T1 you often see many teams opting to go gym bedroom first. Perhaps is somewhat of a expectation subversion, but it has its strength as well. And every site except for bar stock is conventionally strong in its own unique ways. But CC and basement are likely to be our next 2 areas they go to. I don't think they're going to take that risk of now the early round advantage. They don't want to throw that away by going to what is often many teams' tertiary site.
I'm going to say, screw it. I think, yeah, we're going to go to gym bedroom, actually. Because, well, they've gone to that site and they're saying, okay, well, they might expect us to go CCTV or bottom floor, like you said. But gym bedroom, it's not just catching them off guard. It's just messing a little bit. It's just saying, okay, well, we'll get it out the way. It's like the vegetables on the plate. You get rid of it, then you get onto the good stuff. So that might be the approach with Sniper Monkeys. They've won a round. They might say, okay, let's just keep rolling with this very chaotic energy and momentum. The question is it going to stick when the server's fixed, when we're not seeing the attacking lineup struggling so hard to really coordinate and push together? We're going to find out, though, because we are jumping back into the game, and we're going to find out the answers to a lot of questions. Now, Smonkeys, they won the first round. And, I mean, you know, that's a good start, but how long can you keep this going? Now, we are going to be heading to gym bedroom, actually, Whippet, so you've got to read up on your script, my boy.
I mean, you can't let them know that there's a script. This is the second time, Critty, you have leaked our script for an entire matchup. Yesterday on
I
Chalet.
will do it again.
Okay, then predict. Well, what's happening this round, Critty?
7-3 for IOM.
I mean, that's the game, but I was asking this round in particular. You didn't have to go and spoil the entire result for us all.
Okay, right. So, the defensive lineup, if they're playing it normally, the operators imply that they are, well, then they're going to go for a multiple line of sight. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. They're faking it out. This is going to be incredible. If they... Oh, no. DJ. He hears the action. He hears the activity. The name of the game for Force Monkeys is you get down there and you shoot the goddamn drones. You don't let them keep those drones alive.
Oh, my God.
Every drone is alive.
I think they sold it. I think they sold this push.
I think they've done it. Now, they still have that Rafters presence, but that doesn't have the information. They just know a Vigil's on the roam, and for a bottom floor site, that makes a lot of sense. There's nothing untoward about that. But IOM, one drone, one acknowledgement of where this site is, and the whole thing collapses. It's an IOM round completely. But, whip it. It's sold. It's happening. They're going for it. They've done it, Smokies.
hook, line, and sinker. They pulled the M&M versus BDS, and they have sold their fake site strategy. And if this works out, it is a round victory for Sniper Monkeys. I am just going
We're
to
closer
be.
to we're closer to 7-3 then.
Oh, that
if
is.
this does work.
Oh my god,
no.
it is. I know,
The
like, we
utility.
know it's sold, but it's
Yeah.
still surprising me every time we see a progression made
Wait.
towards.
Right, Scipio. What Scipio's just tried to do is he's tried to put the Selma charges on that hatch. With Hibana, you can do it, but they haven't brought one out. They've brought the Monty. You tried to put it on the side so that it's harder to impact Trick,
No.
but the C4 is going to make life a lot harder. James going to be able to find that kill, and now IOM, they're getting ready. They're putting players towards this blue area. They have the dob above. They can maybe start thinking about dirt, maybe think about main. But the thing you've got to remember is they are committing to the wrong site. Smonkeys, they know they've sold it. They know all they have to do is have one player ready to rotate up and just win your gunfights. Rose is going to take some damage. The Hyde is looking to win these gunfights. Angelix just sits strong. One impact nade has been taken away. The pink will come out. Rose will get taken away. Angelix, he's got restless feet syndrome. The Hyde's going to take some more damage. And we're just going to see Angelix just get to work. Finds the Hyde, but still needs to find the Mozzie Sturksy. He's going to take up the role of slowing them down. You don't let them see that the bomb is not there. You get them at the choke point. This is it. Our producer, he also wants to see this diffuser drop. He wants to see Smonkeys sell it and sell it goddamn hard. A minute on the clock. Any real chance of an IOM victory is feeling quite low because they've got to realize this isn't the site. And they've got to rotate and plant and have a plan in place.
The defense
Smonkeys,
are upstairs now.
yeah, Smonkeys, they're rolling. They're coming into it. Alright, you know what? I'm not even mad. Smonkeys are playing this incredibly. Angelix walks in.
Is he gonna try and plant? Is he
Site
gonna try
safe!
and...
Site
He's gonna
safe!
try and
The
plant?
smokes are going down! He's dropping a diffuser! The Smonkeys are nowhere to be found. IOM, they're running around, they're confused. Alright, they've caught on. They've realized. Alright, guys, come on, we've got to go. Heiser's able to find a kill, but Angelix runs through. He realizes they don't have time. So he goes through the gate. This makes life all that a little bit harder. Angelix and Sturksy still have C4s. And Sturksy's on the flank, able to find one kill. He wants Angelix, he wants that kill, and he will get it if he was called Heiser. Swankies, they actually goddamn done it, Whippet.
I mean, if you ever want a masterclass on how to sell the wrong bomb site, well, there it is. I mean, that is just wonderful. There is no other way of describing that one. That is everything I love to see inside of Siege. A victory for the underdog and doing it in one of the most unique ways possible. Absolutely perfect fake site. Oh, Sniper Monkeys, you've done my heart a world of good after that one.
I'm so pleased that that worked. That was amazing.
It couldn't have been more perfect with the diffuser
Right,
getting dropped.
Whippet. The thing is, though, Smonkeys are going back to the bottom floor for real this time, and they know that their defensive strategy is going to work because think about the time that it took for Smonkeys to get down. 40 seconds left, and that's after you abandon the site. If you stick down there and keep putting the pressure on them, then really gonna struggle. IOM kind of uncomfortable at this point. They're bringing out Cali, they're bringing out operators like Lion to try and stop this from happening again, but you look at it and you're saying, I think IOM, they're in their heads. They are 100% in the mental right now.
Yep. I mean, all it's gonna do now is always gonna be in the mind of Imperium of Man. Them. And
Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Rose. Very nice. Is it basement? We'll never know.
They're always gonna be confused now. They're always gonna make a double take of everything and really have to confirm those bomb sites. The kitchen hatch reinforced late, but gets done nonetheless. An electric claw set up and deployed. And what I think of great thing the relay is that not only have you made myself and McCready's day with that incredible play, you've also made the day of our wonderful observer and producer, Science and Noah, echoing our thoughts, saying their day has been made brighter just for the insanity of what we witnessed. But, well, Rose's drone isn't going to be made, nor isn't going to be too happy with that outcome. Going to get caught by that Mozzie pest, as 4 members of Imperium Mandem are, well, crouch walking down dirt tunnel. And this is an interesting commitment of utility.
Right, Whippet. Simply put, I think IOM have realized this. You know, we've already qualified for playoffs. will allow this. Right now, Rose is going to be holding an angle onto that little AK area, but it's going to be Circe able to win one gunfight. Rose looks for the refrag, but just can't find it. The line scan will come through, and you want to see IOM picking up frags, but they're in a choke point. Dob on the flank is able to pick up two, however, catches them off guard. Scipio finds one of his own, and suddenly, 4 versus 2 on site, Rose pushes in, will be taken away. Angelo gets one as well, as downing Rose in a 1 versus 2, the diffuser right by him. But the Dob just cleans up Imperium, and then, once they know where the site is, they can take control.
Well, a very good execution from that. They didn't rely a lot on strategy and instead decided to brute force their way on through and get themselves around back for the good. So that's going to be the scoreline of 2-1 in favor of the defensive side of Sniper Monkeys and them fighting back. But I'm still going to say, I think the people's victor of this matchup will be Sniper Monkeys, no matter the outcome of this one.
100%. These subs, Iso and Angelo, you know what? I thought they'd try and split it up and lead the charge like you saw with Max D something, but I like what they've done with the team. I like that they've done with the place. Gotta say it.
I'm certainly a fan as well. So, upstairs we go. We go into CC. Finally, the main site for many a team is going to be the tertiary, and actually no, the fourth site played from Sniper Monkeys. They've opted to do a complete rotation of this clubhouse, and well, I wonder if we'll be seeing anything unique here. Likelihood is this site doesn't really lend itself to innovation and anything, at least on the leading edge of strategy, so I think we're going to be seeing more of a standard default setup here. But the only intriguing thing I can somewhat put your eyes towards is Sturksy on that Tachanka. Will we see anything interesting being brought out with that Shamika launcher? What long-range angles will be used? And I wonder, I mean, there is that long-range one from Logi Hatch, if you can still do it, that lands on the balcony. Would be interesting.
Yeah,
but,
that'd be quite a time, but there's a big issue with it. Simply put, Cade is on the board. Now, Heizo's brought Bandit for the MH70, and I mean, it's a respectable choice. It's the academic choice, simply put. But there's no Maverick to deal with it. So they're going to be heading down below. This Shamika angle all the way from Logi, that's just not going to have the impact.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I love the Chonka's change. I really do think it has actually a level of viability. Perhaps in a future meta, it will be more significant because right now we're in a very rapid-paced, very kind of aggressive style of play that dominates the fray. And I mean, he's a bit slow, a bit lack of mobility, and that weapon is somewhat cumbersome to use, but has great utility. If he was released perhaps just 6 months earlier, he would have been a bane of many competitive teams. Rose looks up towards the rafters, saw James clipping through for a second, and that's going to be Legion perhaps under a massive amount of pressure as the Monties crept all the way up. The Evil Eye is going to zap away and find some damage to push the French operator back, and the Goon Mine catches them, but using that perhaps as a pseudo mirror window to try and line up a shot on the James if he gets aggressive. But he plays passive for now, peeking out, gets shot down by a significant portion of damage, but all he must do is exist. And his job is very successful.
Yes, now construction is going to get opened up. James holds in rafters, Heiser's in support, so, this is a very heavy committal to it. And, well, with that main breach being pretty much done, well, yeah, Heiser's just going to pull back. No more bandit tricking. Rose is going to move in. But that Maestro camera's still there. That default camera's still there. James and Heiser are still there. And then Circe can come around with the LMG. Angelo, though, will be downed, and Rose will find Heiser. James gets a refrag. However, the rafters play, it comes in beautifully. Circe's going to rotate around, ready to deal with the pressure on construction, and is just going to hold red. As long as you hold red, you control the round. You find a kill onto Dob, the refrag, the frag onto Angelo, and you shut down construction. Then you have a wonderful angle. This is where you put in that fire. You were able to give Scipio a hard time as James will find that kill. The crossfire is there. And right now, DJ sat in cash. Can go for a blind, but a very difficult position. He's going to have to move away. The C4 gets bait out. The smoke canisters go down. Angelix is going to get killed. DJ7's all on his own. The Hyde tries to knife him, but can't. So opts to Deagle instead. And Circe, such a huge performance. I think I've just got to say it simply put. Circe being able to hold that area with those flames, with that LMG, it just kept that round there. And that's what I want to agree. if we saw Tachanka introduced to competitive play before the change of the 20-second meta, then he'd be a much more dominant pick. He would replace Smoke in a couple of sites, and that's exactly why. His stopping power is just incredible, and his weapon is a heavy hitter. He can still make the rotates.
Yeah, I mean, right there, I think it's a wonderful snapshot, perhaps, because that position is very similar to how a lot of positions used to be in our older climate, where you had to sit, hold your, and play your life there. A wonderful example of how potent that operator can be, and again, it's sometimes still hard to look past the history of the operator, of how much of a joke they used to be, and now how actually viable the Chonka is. It still sounds so odd in my brain to say that. But eventually I'll have to overcome that demon, as we do see a glass being brought out on the hand of Rose. And, well, Latam are having wonderful success in international play, and one of the operators they used to bring out a hell of a lot was that glass. So will we see some inspiration perhaps from Latam if we see an aggressive style of play getting brought out?
Yeah, Latam have had a really good invitational, and I think it's just the fact that the meta's finally caught up to Latam. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right, hold on,
Yeah.
Angelo. Hyde, are you setting up what I think you are? Oh. Well, that was quite nice, actually. Now, the mirror window is going to be placed down here, and what Spunkies can do if they want to commit a shield, if they had one, was they could put a shield and have a really, really tight angle. This is something our league owner, he actually was able to show off. He demonstrated that was a horrible angle, and Scipio's about to use one of his own. Finds a kill onto Heizo, trying to get an early advantage. And, well, these mirror windows, they still have a lot of potential. And, well, it's a 4v4 when you look at the guns that are still up, but a C4's taken off the board. That roaming presence is taken off the board. The Dob is clearing out blue. Smunkies, there are a lot of advantages for the attackers right now. You need to just be able to put the hurting in when it counts.
Being able to pounce when you have those very key opportunities makes a hallmark of a very strong team. James receives some damage through the wall from that Monty, and we see the long roaming vigil down towards Strip Club. Sturksy, will they be able to pop up late in this round and have a significant impact? It does seem like there is no drone attention being drawn to Strip Club at all, as I think they're bunkering up towards site, so that could be a massive factor. A minute 50 remains in this round, so lots of time to gather that information and be able to pick apart utility on the objective itself. The Hyde has a C4 primed and ready, but the visual cover that smoke grenade provides is going to add some, perhaps, caution to throwing out the C4, and Sturksy's position somewhat compromised, perhaps. A pre-fire on towards bathroom from the ace. Indicative of that is a Oob now inside of blue. Could have an impact. Scipio just walks into sight. Just walks via moto. No one was watching. The diffuser now isolated and stuck by the desk inside of church. The Dob's going to be in as well. A complete collapse as James gets that kill on the Yana. An interesting execution attempt now as James battles away with that AUG. A minute left to go as Sturksy's going to get caught out by Rose. The EMR shuts him down in rapid succession as Angelo gets the kill on the DJ. And, well, now in 3 versus 2, James is very much playing aggressive. The DMR has no chance to get any work, and now Angelix and Monty, the last one standing, and well, can't do any work, flanked from main stairs as James collects that final kill. And Sniper Monkeys get victory on round number 5, but what was that execution? No one watching blue, no eyes on moto. Very intriguing questions perhaps to be asked of the Sniper Monkeys setup there.
Yeah, it felt very stunted from IOM, but Monkeys, yeah, there was a couple of issues there. Blue, you need to have eyes on that moto. You don't let them get that control because it just doesn't make life great. And honestly, I'm not okay with it. It wasn't a round that they should have won, but they were able to. Anyway, moving forward though, last round of the split, and Monkeys, they've ruined my dreams of a 7-3 prediction, but they're heading back to Gym Bedroom, and they're bringing a typical setup. They are bringing a mirror, a castle, a frost, a mute, and a mozzie. What this basically says is tiered defense. All the way in cash, destruction, logi, bedroom, and then gym. That's the way that you're going to try and funnel these attackers in, and you're going to try and pick a couple in each area. And for the attackers, it's a case of getting that jacuzzi wall open. So, utility denial. That's what you want to take off the board. But with the Imperial Mandem's Jaeger ban, that's even harder. So they're committing to just saying, right, you've got to take on jammers. We'll have a mirror window there just in case. Some castle barricades you've got to deal with. And then we're just going to shoot you. Simply put.
Certainly. I mean, I'm just so like almost my brain kind of drew me back to the round we saw the saw
No,
the fake
that's
site.
not happening again
I know.
at all. Especially if they
Sag.
just won that site. You can't exactly fake.
I mean, you could try. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a 0% likelihood that works. But I mean, I've seen stranger things. It looks like Sturksy's gonna find a very early engagement, and I really hope a drone. Oh, you never know. That drone might have not checked deep enough, but that's going to be somewhat of a deterrent. That entryway is now being completely foiled. The Sturksy's going to hunker up and exist inside a strip club for a little bit longer, having some fun there, just delaying some time as an angle to work with as well, in case someone tries to make that initial entryway on a site like this. Burning critical seconds at the opening of a round can be very important, especially considering that it can take up to 30 seconds to make your initial entryway inside of this map, and well, Sturksy can stop that strip entry completely. He will remain an active threat as this round plays out.
Right, wait, wait. Something I've noticed is that cache, it's empty. Smonkies have foregone it, and they've realized with a Jaeger not on the board, or OMI, this place, it just gets taken out very easily. You get nades over the wall, you take kills, you get the utility, the wall's open. So they've opted to just make a crossfire. They have that shield, very difficult, impossible to shoot from that construction window, by the way. And then you also have the lodging mirror window. So while the IOM can take this control, they will get a scan. They'll realize the frost is there. DJ7's going to take some damage. Isn't going to be able to find a kill. In fact, Heiser will do it before the refrag comes through. But the crossfire's there. In Pip's Monkeys, they're going to have another player just rotated around to deal with it. And the Dobbs frag grenade just isn't going to get what you need. It's just going to miss everything. All the key points. And Rose is saying, okay, well, utility. We've got to push it to construction. We're going to open things up. Angelix is going to get caught by a frost mat. Is going to be down. Scipio will find a kill and has to go for the refrag of Rose. But right now, you're looking at Smonkies. This is what I said. They're holding their defense. They're making the attackers pay for every little thing they get. They have control of that construction, and Rose is going to push forward, but will punish by James and gets taken down. It says there's now an opportunity to push, but Scipio goes on the hunt. He finds a kill. It's a 2 versus 3, but without the user. The rest of the defenders, they've already dropped down below. Angelix will find a kill. Sturksy has got information with it. And most importantly, that diffuser's still down. Sturksy's able to find another kill. And with 30 seconds left, IOM are scrambling. They go off site. They get the diffuser. Sturksy, this is the moment. Take the one-on-one. Retake. And Scipio, he has to get back onto site. Now the plant will not be coming down, but they don't know that. The C4, though, is going to find a kill. And Sturksy, he has that health advantage. The plant starts to go down. Time ticking down. He's going to realize his former teammate, Scipio, he could just push through. He's not on the plant right now. Sturksy could still win. He could just rotate through that bathroom. 000, that's exactly what you needed to hit.
Sublime.
But he baited Scipio off of that site. And, well,
Sublime.
the two NGG players masturbated it, Alf. Masturbated off. Simply put. Smart man.
Oh, absolutely sublime play right there. Sturksy, again, a 1 versus 3. Has the health advantage against all 3 of the opposition. Able to find a kill on the bar. Knows that the fuser's been alone and isolated. Gets the information from a teammate. Could have been from one of those hack drones on Mozzie as well. C4 tossed up. Gets the equalizer. And then they have the composure to wait for the audio cue, wait for the likelihood for your opposition to have crossed the line inside of that mirror window for you then to use that rotation to regain that map control advantage. Absolutely brilliantly. Burned out that time, put himself in almost a guaranteed win position if the gunfight occurred in that hallway nonetheless. Massive credit given, and that's going to be a 5-1 scoreline to the Sniper Monkeys.
You've got to give them a lot of credit. They've really stepped up this game. These subs have really had a huge impact. You're looking at Angelo and Heizo, and it's not that they're finding huge frags, it's that they're giving the rest of the team opportunities to, and a 5-1 split, hell yeah! Smonkies, they're gonna take that. Against IOM, this is one of the comfortable maps of IOM, and most importantly, almost more importantly actually, Whippet, is I am looking at IOM as this is their comfort. This is one they're very happy to go to. And the playoffs, they're gonna want to play it. So, what this means is that teams that actually read into this might say, well, if they work with Sniper Monkeys, it might work for us. You never know. But the round starting off, that's all in the future. Who can tell? We don't have the scripts just yet. But right now, Sniper Monkeys, they're going to be doing their due diligence with the drone work. They realize they can win quite dominantly, and god damn it, they want to. I don't blame them. Why not? Angelo is on the breach with the hide. The drone will go through and try and get that utility off the wall, so they don't have to worry about taking control of the bottom floor. Mute Jammer, though, that's going to just put a little stick in the mud.
Yeah, I mean, burning seconds and critical seconds like this could be a massive benefit. Not Mute Jammer disrupts not only that Twitch drone that tries to break through that line, it's going to destroy any other information denials. And I really do like this because, well, that Twitch drone was somewhat of an incentive for Sniper Monkeys. They could get rid of the bandit wires from that. They had themselves a chance to be able to fight it. And now they're forced to commit a player downstairs, which with anyone who's played this map knows that that's a massive risk. You have to worry about the grenades tossed in to get rid of that jammer, perhaps now giving that Twitch drone a chance. But the amount of attention and the amount of focus that is being put on this small opening, this small drone hole, is drawing some guns and attention to the Scipio. Just chills inside of stock, just waiting for someone to commit to that initial entryway. And with a minute 40 remaining, no one has done so. You got to look at this from the side of Sniper Monkeys. They need to find a way in and a way in fast and Sturksy. I hope that construction window might be looking to be that pressure relief to get aggressive. Has the ace, has those Selma charges to work with, so might be able to vault it in. That grenade doesn't land its mark. Rhodes is going to be uncompromised and now aware of the active threat. A grenade primed and ready, I believe, tossed in, but doesn't connect. No damage done. And I wonder, though, have those bandit wires survived?
No, one of them hasn't. And Rose?
Oh,
DJ7, you naughty boy. The Cave Claw coming in clutch, able to get that utility off the wall, and Angelo's kind of sat there thinking about, what do we do? Garage door's the next logical option, and, well, James is going to make his way over, but Angelic's on the swing, is going to take away some damage. 46 seconds on the clock, and, well, Imperial Mandem, they're shutting them out. Sniper Monkeys, this momentum, this control that they've had, it's just not there. Rose is able to find a kill to find Six. He takes him away, and in doing so, just makes life a little bit easier for the defense. The diffuser down in construction. That control is still there for Sniper Monkeys, and James will find a refrag. But time is ticking down with it. They don't have any site control. The diffuser is in Angelo's hands. But right now, Imperial Mandem, they're very comfortable. Heizo might be trying to bait out that Gemini, but you don't have time. Utility is going and James is executing. The plan's starting to go down. Suddenly, James coming up huge. This triple kill could mean the round is in your favor. The C4 goes through, doesn't stop the plan. It's a post plan, and somehow, Sniper Monkeys, they pulled it back from the brink. DJ7's looking to make sure that doesn't happen. Angelix is going to find Heizo. It's all down to the hide, but the plant is already down. You just have to cover the cross. Angelix, he's watching it instead. Will find a kill, and IOM 5-2.
A stunning retake from them, but a wonderful execution from the Sniper Monkeys. They fought tooth and nail for every inch of map control they could get, and they made that execution stick sublimely. But even better than that was that retake, winning their fights left, right, and center. And ultimately, that retake gets them the round on the board. They're only their second in this matchup, so they have a longer road to go, 3 rounds down. And the Sniper Monkeys only need 1 to force themselves onto match point. And that does leave Imperial Mandem in that tricky position, knowing that they must win inside of regulation to retake that number 2 seed position. So it really is down to the wire. Imperial Mandem have to win every round now to get that second place.
That is quite scary.
It is.
Do not drink the Amogus potion at 4 or 3 a.m.
Yeah. What is... What? Wait.
You can't get through a single game,
What?
can you?
What is the Amogus potion? What is it?
You are just struggling. Every time we cast the Imperium of Mandem, Rose just comes out of nowhere and is like, yo, you want to have some flashbacks to Amogus with its Discord? It is a scary thing, more importantly.
Listen, I didn't play it in that Discord the last time it was offered up. I believe you did, though.
No? I haven't played Among Us
Were
with
you not in
guys.
that call?
I only played Jackbox. Come on, man.
Okay.
Anyway, now, IOM are going to the bottom floor for real, which is an important little addition to add on with it, I think, at this point, based on how this game has gone. It's been an exciting one. We've had some laughs, we've had some fun, and I said that wasn't going to happen because, well, IOM, they want that playoff spot, and they want that second place spot going into it. Well, Sniper Monkeys have just kind of said, screw your plan, we're having a fun game, and thank you for that. It's been very nice. The drones are going to start going through, and Smonkeys are going to start doing the work to make sure that they can secure this round. Every time we've seen them really try and get serious, IOM start to bring it back. But whenever they decide they want to have a bit of fun with it, that's when they're going to win out. This roam clear, or this little cross from Heiser, this cutoff point, that's huge. Because your roamers, you push that Valkyrie back, and then Scipio dies. And because of that, the roamers, they're put apart. Obviously, you know, you get a kill, away, well done, happy days. But if you find Scipio, then suddenly the other roamer, if they're committing 2 people to it, they're going to struggle. Xerxes going to find that first kill. DJ7 will be taken away. Heiser will find a kill on... will be finding Scipio. I'm tired. This game has been interesting. While a vertical play takes place, I'll let you take over.
Well, some great remodeling, giving angles to work with, and 2 very early kills in favor. The Sniper Monkeys really are picking away at their prey from a distance here. And with so much time to work with, the map is essentially their domain. They only have to somewhat worry about Angelics on that roam presence, and that's going to be a tricky one to isolate. And we see those pancakes tossed out by Wamai to help add up and shore this position up. And, well, with the opening instead of the escape tunnel, James has somewhat of a free reign to be able to push and get aggressive, and seemingly that Wamai isn't exactly aware of the imminent threat. Angelics tries to get a little bit more advanced in that positioning, creeping up down towards Lounge, as now the entryway inside of Moto is here. Flashbang's tossed out, but Heizo turns their back, and Rose pounces, doesn't need a second opportunity. Angelics gets into the action as well, and Angelo tries to creep in through Astrush, but Rose has none of it with the pistol and shutting down that potential aggressive play from the Cyber Monkeys. And now the advantage they held, well, it's turned to ash and slipped between their fingers, but they've regained it, so with kindling there as James in the hide gets some action. Saria Gate being a nuisance, but Rose being so pivotal, so important in this round as of late, finds kill number 3. Can they make it 4? No! James just about comes up clutch for the Sniper Monkeys, and well, that is the most critical round we've seen here on Clubhouse, because not only is that match point for the Sniper Monkeys, that is now on Premier of Man then, locked in to seed number 3 for our playoffs. Now, try as they might, if they claw back to victory, there will not be enough points available for that spot. So, they are now your 3rd place finishers of their regular season.
I don't know. Now, I do want to point out James in that last round, that was huge. But a big thing is the hide, I think, went for the plant a little bit too early, because the hide was going for the plant. James was still trying to get his drone to clear the Aruna gate. He didn't want to lose that HP. He knew in a 2 versus 1 that HP is a lot more important than that drone, so you could take the gunfight and win it out. But the hide started planting. As such, Rose just wanted to swing. He went to push and found the kill. The big thing is that Sniper Monkeys were able to get that advantage back, like you said, with some nice droning, some nice gunplay coming out from Smonkeys, but well, locking into 3rd place, I think IOM, they're still going to want to win. They're going to want to prove that they can beat this team that have been struggling to perform very, very consistently.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the performance Sniper Monkeys have just put up today in this matchup, you know, they're 6-2 up against the Premier of Mandem, who throughout the course of the season have been a dominant force to reckon with. And Cyber Monkeys have, well, been that team in the midfield who've never really put their pieces together, and at times battling with Minutemen to stay above the bottom spot. But if they could have just brought this spark, and yes, they have subs to perhaps help, but they are putting in a wonderful performance as a core team, and I mean, the result does speak for it. They had that potential all along. Shame it's just a little too late for them to have much of an impact, but an upset underdog story is never something to turn your nose up on. Your script, perhaps you misread it. Perhaps it was a 7-3 victory for Sniper Monkeys you were predicting.
Maybe, but right now we have to look at Sniper Monkeys in control at the moment, and well, we're back at the bottom floor. And well, it kind of makes sense, because you're looking at it and saying, well, Imperium and Mandem, they got it close. They had a couple of advantages, and Rose was really able to step up and lock them down, but there wasn't much else from it. Now, Scipio is somehow still alive in this position and able to find a kill onto the hide, and the Maverick's taken away. One of those 2 players in that last 10 seconds, and now Scipio just plays it carefully. Just walks away. He gets away with a free kill because Smonkeys didn't hold the angle. He's gonna want a second one. James hears that rip of the C4 and runs away. Angelix, he has the Jackal scan on him. He decides to get aggressive instead of to just run away. Jackal rotates around. Now he's going to go for the swing. He gets the kill onto James. The 2 players alive at the end of the first 2 to fall for the Sniper Monkeys. Heiser will be able to find that refrag, but barely. And with time wasted, very little work done in terms of vertical play, in terms of utility clearance, and the Dobbit is allowed to sneak into Lounge. He's going to spot that Yana isn't going to get the kill, will escape with his life whippet, but the fact that he doesn't collect there, that's a big issue. Pulls back to sight, and they just need to waste time. Iso down by this Dirk, can still push in. Xerxes going to get taken away by Rose. It's all down to Angelix and Heizo. They're split apart, they don't have a game plan, and the question is where do they go from here?
Well, you've got a minute to work with. You have 4 people to find. You're both a little bit wounded, so you don't want to be taking head-to-head engagements as of now. And, well, if Heizo had that secondary hard breach utility, this hatch could have been opened up for relative ease, and that could have been a lifeline of this. A Gemini replicator sent out, but perhaps at exactly the wrong moment. Scipio gets aggressive, Deagle in hand, and, well, you didn't have to do Heizo with that dirty. A drop shot from the Beowulf chambered pistol to close out the round, and get Imperium of Moundem's 3rd round on the board.
Yes, and rather comfortable, actually. A lot of those kills, they came out quite comfortably. We saw Angelix really get aggressive inside that kitchen area, and that was huge, but it wasn't really a big issue. As soon as I got that kill, well, it was just a case of, oh, as long as we pick up 1, you know, we'll be fine. It just stunted the momentum of Smonkeys. They really stalled out. They said, right, the hide, James, they're gone. Our hard breach tool of Maverick and James. Just the quintessential fragger for Smonkeys at the moment, and throughout the season as well. They're taken away, and suddenly Smonkeys, they don't know what to do. They don't really have a choice to do anything, because at that point, Imperium and Amanda, they're collecting, they're capitalizing upon a lot of these advantages. And, well, that's the round. You know, they got split apart. They got broken, twisted, everything you could possibly think of. Smonkeys, they're going to be returning to this CCTV cache to try and attack it, to try and close everything down. The 7-3 may be on the cards. I may have got the team wrong, but Imperium Mandem, they're looking to prove me wrong. They brought a very typical setup. They've got DJ again on the Cade as well. So as soon as those bandit charges fail, the Cade Electroclaws will not. Also allows Scipio to commit 1 over towards that little rotate. It makes it a lot harder from the breach when it is open to get the line of sight into rafters. And that freedom of movement, that just makes life so much easier.
Truly does. I mean, looking at this setup, there's a pretty integral part of this is going to be that Kaidan bandit dynamic we witnessed again, and Rose on that mute really did disrupt the attempted Twitch drones to open up this breach, but again, that doesn't seem to be the angle that Sniper Monkeys will be working with at all. They are committing downstairs, and as Jelix is going to be very aggressive there, finds the hive with a spawn peek of all things, and that's your Maverick gone. And well, we all know how important that Maverick can be on a map like this, especially considering the setup that they are facing. That might have been the most important pick of this entire round, and happened within the opening 5 seconds.
Yes, that bandit's just become so much more stronger. You need to commit either Sturksy or Heiser or James with the frag grenades down below, and in doing so, you play right into this roam game. For the Monkeys, the other options on the board are rafters, construction, maybe even just pushing below, like I said. But right now, Imperium and Mandem, they're feeling comfortable. A player advantage really is the power position to hold right now. Just all these angles. They're going to get aggressive. The C4's going to get out. It's going to find Heiser. The frag grenade goes through. It gets a utility. Rose is just going to sit down there. Can he get it down before the charge? No, he can't. Rose is going to try and back up. Oh, nobody's holding the angle. He just doesn't take some damage. The swing comes out from the Dob. Oh, no, naughty boy. Finds Angelo, and now Sturksy and James, they're all on their own. Time is ticking down, and Imperium Mandem, they've realized they've won the round, and Smonkeys do as well.
Yeah, this round is going to be a very difficult one to fight back. And I think just taking some time to perhaps think about what went wrong or try to relay everything. I mean, the early casualty of that Maverick, I think, was ultimately what somewhat left the Sniper Monkeys stranded in deep water with no way out. Because this setup, if you look at it, a Kaid, a Mute, a Bandit, literally every way, a denying wall in play. And you've got no Kelly, you've got no EMPs on Thatcher, so you're stuck trying to Maverick trick, and when you lose that operator in your opening 10 seconds, it's going to be a bit demoralizing. So they're going to take some time, get some information, but I think ultimately they're going to regroup and prepare themselves for the next round, or make a pretty last-second dive bomb to try and turn the tide. But I think right now it's safe to say, just regroup, recover, and get yourself set up for the next round.
Yeah, simply put. I mean, they're going to give it a go because why not? You know, you already can't qualify for the playoffs. There's nothing to really lose. You're on match point. That overtime is guaranteed at least. Well, you might as well give it a go. Xerxes already won 1v2. Maybe he could win a 2v5. You never know. Clearing these angles, James is on the refrag. These are two operators and two players that you desperately want. But the Sophia's been taken away. Angelix will be playing prone behind that body. The frag grenade will be ripped, and the push comes out from Angelix, realizing it, and Imperium Amanda, flawless round, but whip it. But they can't go there again, and they need to win 2 more rounds just to make overtime.
I mean, not out of the realm of possibility at all. So I certainly think they have that great potential inside of them. Again, this is historically a defensive-sided map. Yes, in recent memory, in about the last year and a half, the offensive has become a lot more potent and a lot more viable as a side. You would, nowadays, when you look at T1 play, you're not going to count a team out because they're on the attacking side. So the defense still has that intrinsic advantage. It is beginning to become somewhat of a smaller margin. Rose does 6-pick away from that mirror, and we go to Gym Bedroom, bring out that castle. Either operator are pretty strong on this site, but opting to have that security on windows and selected door frames to help shore up any extension available, as well as that Gym Bedroom area, keeping those bandit wires or any utility on that wall secure just for a little bit longer, as every single second counts on a map like this, or a site like this I should say, because executions can be very difficult, and there is a level of verticality you must worry about as well with C4 from below. We saw Sturksy doing a great example of how potent that denial from below can be, finding that kill which set up that clutch earlier in this matchup.
Yeah, I feel like that, not finding that kill onto the player of Angelix certainly at the start, that was huge. Now, Gym Bedroom, the last time we saw this, we saw that tier defense. The first time we saw it, we went to the bottom floor, so let's not really talk about that. That was completely a different round in a million different ways. Anyway, it's perfectly fine. We're perfectly happy. Just keep moving. Now, IOM, they brought a normal setup. I believe I'm waffling, but, I like a bit of waffle. They're roaming. That's what this setup is about, actually. It's the roamers being able to lead Smunkies on a tangent and make them waffle just like I am. And, well, that's what the point is. That's what Smunkies are going to try and avoid. Going into Strip Club, they get down below, they get the utility from the vertical, which you can do for that bathroom wall. You get a Maverick on the Jacuzzi wall. You deal with 2 key components of this defensive side very, very quickly. You get Jacuzzi, wall, and you get the bathroom. That means you can start moving forward. You can take control of Gym. You can take control of the fact that IOM might not all be on the site. Right now, you're seeing this bandit, and DJ, he doesn't suspect this Maverick call. You can just make one and find a kill. Rose will probably call it out. DJ will move, but Scipio gets downed over in dirt. The High being able to find that kill will mean that Scipio's just not going to have an impact. We've seen that Scipio's just been able to perform time and time and time again.
Oh, the confirmation of that kill comes out. Not surprised at all. Prone's going to be that bandit lurking, trying to find some aggressive angle via the drone hole out of the openings to try and deny this. Rose upstairs inside of construction could be, and keep your eye on that, as I believe Angelix is actually in the dirt tunnel, walking over the downed corpse of that Valkyrie and trying to potentially find a way in. James going to use his hammer to crack open this wall, allowing means of access for their Monty, who might struggle to get in. No, fits perfectly through the opening made, and that's going to be your diffuser walking in and standing menacingly. A wonderful drone set up by that Maverick, looking deep into the site and finding great positions and a great opportunity to know exactly where every defender is, and that could be the information very important to use as a catalyst to hide. Going to be opening up that Logi hatch, but Rose, a wonderful shot with the UMP, and the Dub's going to fire off as well. Hyzo falls and Cirksy, but above the main stairs, you might have to act quick, be that catalyst for your team, otherwise the casualties might keep rolling. The Sniper Monkeys on have only 3 members remaining against the 4 of Imperium of Mandem.
Yes, and right now Imperium of Mandem, they can start collapsing, they can adjust their defense, and Angelix isn't going to get punished at all. He's going to do the damage to the Hide, he's going to back away, he's going to play life safe. Right now, Monkeys, they've got to try and push together. They've got to play refrags, like you said. You're past the point of actually getting that refrag from the earlier kills.
Oh!
Xerxes able to find DJ7. The bandit being taken off the board. Dobbs on low HP, so Xerxes wins that as well. Oh, sniper monkeys. Now you're hitting your mark. But you just gotta hit 2 more heads to close this down. Rose and Angelix. If there was a bigger challenge off the side of IOM, I don't know what it would be. Xerxes pushes through. He's able to win against 1. Angelix takes a bullet for Xerxes and gives it to the hide. The push comes through. James needs to find the refrag. The time is low. The plan has to go down. And James is just suffering shot after shot. Angelix, he's not landing the killing blow. He will be able to now against Xerxes. He keeps Imperium Mandem in it. What the hell? You've got to think. If the hide didn't take the bullet for Xerxes, this could be over right now. Angelix, simply better.
Oh, that is gonna be a painful round for the Sniper Monkeys and Imperium Mandem. Truly, seemingly dead to rights on that one, but Xerxes, what a play, finding 3 kills in rapid succession, cracking open Imperium Mandem's defense, and up nade, working through those vertical positions, and a close range encounter with the UMP wielding Rose was able to come up big, but it just wasn't enough in the dying seconds. And now, the end of regulation, round number 12. Can Sniper Monkeys close this matchup right here, right now, or will the Imperium of Mandem claw their way back tooth and nail to overtime as we go to Church and Arsenal? No matter what the outcome is, this is the final sight of regulation, and Angelic 6 picks away from that vigil, bringing us the Legion we've seen being so potent on that T5. Can they continue this? And look, this is Xerxes' performance, and honestly, the latter half of this round, this was Xerxes' round.
Yes, it just was. Simply put. Look at it.
Whoa.
Stop the bullet going into Angelix. And ripple effect, I've talked about it before. It's exactly what happens. You've seen James get downed, and then suddenly all the round just being closed out with a peek from Angelix. Well, bottom floor again. Let's just move on from the last round. Monkeys, they're trying to do it, so why don't we? Back on the bottom floor. This was the last site that we saw Monkeys win, actually. We went to CCTV before we went to Gym Bedroom. This is the place where they have the opportunity to really take control, but it feels like that last round was still a little bit too close to comfort. Monkeys, they're losing a little bit of their grip, and Angelix, he's the one wiggling out, isn't he?
Certainly. I mean, 14-7. This is a stellar, absolutely stellar performance. And while the kill record is somewhat out of reach, I don't necessarily see it being broken. But if we go all 15 rounds, you never know what miracle storylines can be in play, especially in a game like Siege. But that's only for the dreamers. I think pretty sure Sniper Monkeys want to close this one out right here, right now, and leave nothing on the table. No risk of overtime at all, especially considering how dominant they were on their defensive split. So, a lot of good setup being established. They like the use of these Saria gates, and once again, Rose inside of Moto, if that hatch isn't opened up effectively, could be a massive threat. So keep your eye on that one, especially if Moto tends to persist. Angelo, very cautiously trying to creep on in and sees that pre-play C4, but this is going to be a bit of a gamble. A dance with the devil. I wonder, has it been taken out? It has been, so they have that safety net now. They don't have to worry about it. But there is that red silhouette upstairs, and they have not opted for an upstairs clear.
Yes, now, Scipio playing up above. This is where we saw Scipio really find advantages before. Just getting a kill through the main stairs, and having Angelix down in kitchen, taking away a lot of the key Monkeys players. Here you can see, they've taken their time. They've positioned themselves ready down in dirt. There is an Aruni gate, so as soon as that gets opened up, that's a Fear Lifeline. It needs to impact immediately. Otherwise, Heizo, he's going to be pushing in, taking some damage. Monkeys, they're backing up. They're getting information. They're waiting. They realize J7 doesn't. That's the important bit. While you have Scipio up above, you can direct their focus to kitchen. But then, that's where this is really going to pay out as a round. You have got the Hyde rotating around. He will be down and will probably get killed at some point. Probably by Scipio as he rotates over. DJ7 will find Angelo, but gets refragged by Heizo. The push comes through. Scipio finding Xerxes. And Heizo, well, he's stuck now. So James and the Hyde, what are they to do? They're going to commit together. They're going to push. And Heizo's just going to be that walking drone. How are they going to clear this utility? I don't know. They are going to have to bring up something huge. The Hide's going to start it off with a kill onto the Dob. But Scipio's there to make sure that kill isn't confirmed. The push comes through onto site. They realize we've just got to make it happen. Heizo moves through. James is able to find Angelix and the plant starts to go down. 30 seconds. Looking towards that crossfire. Will find Rose. But you can't stop the plant from being denied. Oh no, James. What can you do with 20 seconds left? The plant in no man's land and 3 defenders to kill. You take so much damage. You're gonna find Rose, but you gotta be on that plant before the defenders can get there, and you're already too late. The swing comes out. They know where you are. They're playing ring around the Rosie. And Scipio will find the kill and close things down and whip it overtime.
Well, it's certainly not what the script entailed. You called it would be a 7-3, and now round number 13 is next on the scoreline, and Sniper Monkeys remain on the attacking side, only able to find that one solitary round on the attacking split of this map. So Imperium have manned them. If you look at the history so far, hold the advantage on this what has turned out to be a defender-sided clubhouse matchup. James, well, that's 2 rounds in a row that has been down to him to cover, and it hasn't worked out ideally, so Sniper Monkeys don't want it to come down to a clutch position like that again. I mean, they have been leaving it significantly late in these previous 3 rounds. They have been struggling to get control, struggling to get into a position where the execution can work, and Imperium Man them have grown into this matchup, and especially on the defensive side. They've had somewhat of a free reign. The map control they've had on that road presence has barely been challenged, and when you're playing like that, you have so much free reign, you can just cause chaos, and Cyber Monkeys, they haven't been able to fully adapt during that chaotic moment.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, they had something there. They said, right, the blue push, this is where we're going to start things out, but, well, they just kind of became fish in a barrel. That's where Imperium and them, they realized, okay, well, we've got the couple of odd entities, unknown entities rotating around over towards the main stairs. Now the last 3 are in blue. And we could just train all of our guns there. We're able to find these kills. DJ7 did get taken down, but immediately we just saw Hydra. Imperium and them became Hydra. You cut off one head, and another defender took up that position. That's what they got from that roam game from Scipio, where they're able to just get everything. Now, Imperium and them, they realize they can win it now. They pushed it all the way to OT from a 6-3 side with it. Right now, they're looking to close it down. Heizo, yet again, opting for the shield instead of that gun. And I think it might be because of the spawn peaks, but you're sacrificing a gun. And he's going on to attack, and he's anything to play for on this site. Most importantly. Big thing, though, Smunkies. They don't concede that early player immediately again.
So these opening few seconds might be some of the most critical of this entire matchup. The opening engagement might be able to sway this round entirely, and the Sniper Monkeys can somewhat overcome their floundering efforts, it feels like, on the attacking side. They will be sitting very pretty moving on their defensive split, where they were able to win 5 rounds and really have a dominant display. Rapture's control is going to be very pivotal. Angelo outside of the main lower garage, and one with no hard breach availability and the Electro Claws in great positioning, it's going to be very difficult to break through that and have any real significant pressure. And hide on the map. I mean, you're an expert in Maverick.
Yeah, this is not exactly the way you'd expect to see it.
No.
Angelo, he's going to be talking about that in VOD review. Rose being able to find the hide. Well, the Maverick, the opening kill again. The defenders, you can't be having that. And now you've just given the defenders a line of sight. That wall is just not going to get open. Don't worry about it. Hyde is going to get called out in chat, and Xerxes is going to try some vertical play to get something back. But past the point of no return for that first kill, Angelo is going to have to pick up the first defensive loss. Angelo, he looks to collect it, but, well, the taxman just isn't there. Xerxes nearby. They're playing the cutoff. And, well, simply put, they just go the way nobody's looking. Scipio goes to main stairs, rotates the connector, makes his way back to site. All 5 defenders on the board. While Xerxes is down below, they also don't have the information of where these players are, so the frag grenades, they won't really help out. Heizo's not even moving from that garage door, and 50 seconds ticking down. But there's a drone, there's information. But the bullet holes of Angelix will find a kill, and Angelix nearly gets Heizo. but he just isn't going to land it. That's not a bad thing, though. He's going to back up, and he's going to look at moving back to site. That's all Imperial Mandem need to do. Sniper Monkeys, they've completely fell on their face on this push. Heizo's able to find an answer, but the dob is there. Angelics, he's trying to find one of his own. James will find a frag, but Heizo, he's taken off the board. It's all down to James, who's now on 1 HP, has to spend utility on that goo mine. The swing comes out, and Scipio, he gives Imperium of Mandem the lead for the first time in this game, Whippet.
From 5-1 down at the end of the opening split to now holding match point on overtime. Can round 14 come up large for Imperium of Mandem? Yes, they cannot secure second place in the seeding, but now they are fighting for more than that. They are fighting for their pride, and what a high note to end your season going into the playoffs. From 5-1 down to now holding the advantage, 7-6 your scoreline, and bar stock the sight from the Sniper Monkeys. We thought it was a one-off, but no, you're getting a special treat for the last game of the regular season as we go here for the second time of asking of bar stock here on Clubhouse.
2 times. Just 2 times. Why? You know what? I'm okay with it.
I'm not going to argue with it.
They're ending it how they started, okay? And that is going to be with the bar stock setup. They have the same operators realistically. And, well, it worked. But you have to remember, there was a big asterisk alongside that of the Civ was also dying. And IOM, they also brought a shield. And I think they've opted for all guns blazing at this point. And, well, that's definitely the right way to look at it. Angelix, Scipio, and Rose all in double figures at the moment with frags. Monkeys, they're just going to have these castle barricades. They're going to slow things down. They're going to make sure that IOM, they need to fight for every little ounce of map control that they can get. And we talked about this a chunk before. We talked about the power they can hold. But this is the first time we're not seeing Sturksy bring it, I think. He has been very, very dominant in showing why the Tachanka is such a good pick. But anyway, I digress. This top floor hold is going to be huge.
A reasonably, kind of advanced setup getting brought out here. So certainly something that's not just off the wall and a random strategy pulled from the back of someone's head. It's something that's been thought out, and a lot of extensions being set up by the Sniper Monkeys. The Gon 6 going to see some great use here. We hear a signature sound that cracks open the castle barrier and the barbed wire beside it. So 2 for the price of 1 with that. The Gemini replicator sent in as well. An angle opened up deep inside of that dirt tunnel to pressure anyone. As Angelo on the Warden has that MPX at 1.5, sending some lead down range. Has to be superbly accurate to be able to find the head to make that weapon work. And Selma charges now on the strip wall by Pool. Really going to be putting some pressure now on everyone inside of that bar as Pool begins to fall. The holding inside of that bathroom, the player there could be important, and that's going to be Heizo. The LMG mounted, primed, and ready, but will it get a chance to sing, make its signature sound, and strike fear in the hearts of the Imperial Mandem? Minute 45 remains in control of pool table, slips between the fingertips. The Sniper Monkeys are losing it now, but the Tachanka remains undetected, remains unknown. They're going to be walking into the jaws of the Russian Lord, who is going to be first to fall in this tense moments now. Still 5 versus 5 and a minute and a half left on the board.
Whip it. Not only that, but there is a Rooney Gate on that Billiards wall. Now, Heizo, if he finds this kill, he's not able to do it. Rose is going to open everything up for the Imperial Mandem. Sturksy tries to go for a run out, tries to find a kill, but there's nobody there to find. They're stacking over towards this side. The Hide's going to feel some pressure, take some damage, cannot land these shots, and has to pull back. Right now, we just see the IOM. They can push through. As long as they get that Aruni Gate, they can get in, they could drop. But Scipio, he's already there. He's crouched walking in. He has the information. He can set up a crossfire. He can hold the angles and make sure that a plant, it can go down, and it will. DJ7's going to start it off, and the rotate will come through. The Warden looking for something, but has to realize they're going to be looking. He nearly sees the player, but not before the plank goes down. He's able to find the kill. The frag grenade comes through, forces him over the other side, and the crossfire, the post plan, it's all there. Angelo's able to find a refrag. Scipio, the Xerxes is on the way to find the dob, but the flank of Angelix, that's gonna clean it up. 2 kills, can you find 3 more? No, but you don't need to. Scipio's there. He's watching, he's waiting. And James, the UMP versus the F2, Canadian versus Geo, it's happening again. James with the pre-fire will give away his position, and Scipio knows he's about to come through. Here's the plank go down, realizes, alright, one swing can come through, but James comes off, the pre-fire's there! Scipio wins it! IOM, they go from 6-3, a 5-1 split, to winning it all out. They will have that third place secured thanks to it being an overtime victory, but an incredible game regardless.
One of the best matchups we have seen this entire season. A wonderful recovery from the Imperium of Mandem. What a performance. Absolutely stellar. And Sniper Monkeys, if they had this spark, this flair, this finesse for the entirety of the season, we could have been seeing this be a much more dramatic conclusion. But what a way to do so. And I think everyone in Sniper Monkeys can hold their heads up high with that fantastic performance. Yes, so that the victory slipped between their fingertips, but at the end of the day, they played wonderfully to get the advantage they once held. But credit for Imperium and them staying calm and collected the entire way through, and they get your victory.
Yeah, an incredible performance from both teams. Sniper Monkeys, there was passion, there was aim, there was a talent, but it just wasn't enough to close it out when it mattered the most. Imperium and Mandem, well, simply put, the momentum, it was there from, I think, 6-4, 6-5, and that's when they just took control. They realized, well, Sniper Monkeys, they're falling on their attack. This is where we pick it up. We have momentum, we have control, we have the pace setters, so let's get to work. Able to find the kills, able to find the win. The plank going down was huge, and Angelix on the flank. Realize you can't get a little bit too complacent in that post plant. You got to be active. Finding those 2 kills, leaving it all down to James. It was huge. It was beautiful. And now it's over. The league season is over. We're going into playoffs next week, and I'm very, very excited for it. The teams that are going in, that's going to be the Princesses, Team Triton, Imperium Mandem, and Lockdown Ludens. They're all going to be moving forward, and in that order, most importantly. So Princesses, they're going to face the Ludens. Triton and Mandem, they're going to face each other. This is going to be an incredible playoff season.
I cannot wait to dive into this. We have seen these teams lock horns week in, week out for ages now, and to see them finally have the end goal in sight, their grand finals through the ropes of playoffs, this is going to be absolutely wonderful to see. And again, that's just next week. So SI wraps up, and guess what? You're not going to have to wait too long for your next high-stakes action of Rainbow Six, because we've got it right here. So keep your eyes posted on our socials for every bit of information coming up to our playoffs. And, well, what a way to end off our regular season. What a matchup, and what a result, and honestly, what a season we've just had.
Yeah, it's been incredible. We've had some incredible stories coming through. We've had teams that you just don't expect to really perform just start to step up. A team of subs, well then, now the second seed heading into the playoffs. And, well, Whippet, it's only going to get better. So next week, watch this space. There's going to be a lot of Twitter interaction. And honestly, it's going to be incredible. You got to be here. We're going to call it for tonight, but we will see you next week for playoffs.